High rollers, everybody! Welcome to your favorite D&D show with the wackiest, zaniest, craziest people. Wowie kazowie! Whoa! It's time for Dungeons and Dragons with us here on twitch.tv/highrollersdnd, as well as a little cheeky little stream over on twitch.tv/yogscast as well. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes. Join me this week. We have these people. We've got Rhiannon Gower as Sentry. We've got Thomas Hazel as Keelek, aka Quill. We've got Katie Morrison as Ayla. We've got Chris Dotimus as Lucius. And we have Kim Richards as Nova. Hello, dear friends. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
What was that face drop?
I was mocking Tom.
Right, okay.
Because he did
low
it.
today. I don't know why.
Rhiannon.
Yeah, why are you so low? I don't get it. Weird.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Hi.
Here we go.
I
A bit more. There we go.
I already set this up. I knew they were going to do it. I knew they were
Welcome
going
to the madness that is High Rollers. Did you want a professional Dungeons and Dragons stream? Well, good luck, because you're not going to get that here. Hey, dear friends, welcome.
Hi.
We're going to be playing some D&D. We don't have a ton of announcements this week. Not too much, no sponsors or anything. But boy, do we have a big announcement.
Hold on,
this week.
Mark.
Oh,
No, never mind. I thought I had some tension music to really build it up, but I don't.
Is there like a good,
we
like
can
an
make
epic
it.
celebratory music?
Okay. Give me 1 second.
There we go. Dear High Roller fans, followers, viewers, I'm very, very excited to say that on April 10th, next Sunday, no longer will we be contained by these boxes, these prisons of digital space that you see, because we will be back in our brand new studio. We're going to be playing for real together as High Roller Studio, April 10th. Be there. Tell your friends to be there. I don't care if they don't watch High Rollers. You force them to watch it because it's huge. We're going to be live in the studio on April 10th. Spread the word. Now, very small proviso. If there are any technical limitations or if there are any last-minute unforeseen problems, obviously we may have to cancel that. But the intention is that we will be there April 10th. We're pretty confident everything's going to work. And it's very, very exciting. If you didn't see it, last week we gave you a very sneaky little glimpse of what the studio looks like. But all of those tech issues and things like that should now...
Things have improved even since then.
Yes, absolutely. Tom did a ton of stuff just to do some little improvements. Drop's been working hard in the background with Laurie Electronics to do a lot of sort of automation and things like that. I'm also going to say that we're very happy to have Mr. Sam Gibbs helping us run the stream as well. If you're familiar with the Yogscast, or Mr. Sam that doesn't, you know Sam. Very, very skilled. Yeah, he's a very good boy. We're going to be having him sort of helping us run the stream as well, which is going to be very exciting. But yes, very, very excited about it. It's going to be super awesome. Come and check it out next week, April 10th.
I need to buy trousers before we do this, though, because I'll be honest.
I'm
in pajamas.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's only going to be us that sees that. Yeah.
I was ready for the censor bar.
So you're okay if I wear my Pasheen Halloween trousers?
You can wear whatever you
We
want.
still have a table, Kim. It's fine.
Okay, okay. As long as you guys are cool with that. I don't wear underwear either, so... Or shower.
Yeah.
I haven't showered in a week.
I just go
Hey,
balls
Snap,
out.
high five.
So, yeah. I'm balls out all the time now. So, but yes.
Never again.
Very, very exciting. Very cool. So that means getting back using miniatures, sitting around, rolling physical dice.
Dice! Yes!
It's going to be very, very cool. So come join us for that. That is literally the big and only announcement I had for this week. Unless there is anything else I need to mention.
No announcements coming after this would compare and would be trivial.
They would be very trivial.
Yeah.
Hey, today's sponsor, by the way, is...
They'd be pointless. It'd be pointless to mention anything after this. Thanks to But yeah, so it's going to be very cool. We're still waiting on a couple of little things. Part of the big fundraiser that we did, you gave a ton of money for something called Mark's Toy Chest, where I have spent some of that and bought very, very cool Dwarven Forge stuff that is on its way. Thanks, UPS, for the most annoying customs problems that I've ever had to deal with. Ringing me up at 8 a.m. every morning like, hi, we just need to get some more information from you. What is it again? Like, they're toys. Give me my toys. But yes, that is all on its way. That's going to be very exciting, especially for Campaign 3 when we get there eventually. But it means that we're going to be wrapping up Aerois. We're going to be wrapping up our 3-year campaign.
Where we started, in a different place.
In a different bin. In a different bin is what I just said. Yeah, very, very cool. So join us next week, April 10th, for brand new studio High Rollers. And that's going to be it for me. How's everyone? I think everyone's excited about it, right? We're all very chuffed.
I am excited.
People,
Yeah.
it's real again. Oh!
I can smell you.
All right.
Damn, I really need that shower.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to shower between now and next week, Reed.
You
and Kim.
absolutely fucking are.
Oh, great.
That's going to be a
I'm gonna
requirement.
Go to the gym.
That room is very small. We are
Just
going to
before.
be a lot. It is enclosed.
There are showers in the studio, like not in our room, but in the building. So like if you do stink, I'm just going to drag you in there and just hose you down.
Throw you in
Like
there.
throw
Yeah,
delousing
fine.
powder on
Yeah,
you.
power wash.
Yeah.
Power wash simulator. Nice. Cool. Right, well, with that, I've got a little recap. Let's play some Dun-Duns. Let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. Hello, and welcome back to Aerois. Facing a number of threats to the planet, and with knowledge that their enemy, Callus Valkyrian, has at least for the time being halted his efforts to take Aerois by force, the party have decided to head back to the Hawksdawn archipelago and deal with a number of natural disasters and mysterious gemstone dwarves who have appeared in recent weeks. Before heading out, however, they are approached by Azaria Perel, an unusual elven woman formerly of the Sky City of Gusthaven, who has become a sort of source of magical resources and information for the players and their alliance on the Sky City of Horizon. For months, Azaria has been working on their airship, the Stormchaser, incorporating elements of Thalia Whisperwind's astral starfighter, the Twin Star Longbow. Called to Azaria's magnificent mansion, where her love of undead and bones is a little unsettling for some of the party, she uses an observation window to show them the improvements made to the Stormchaser. A reinforced hull made from the same crystalline material as the Valkyrian and Draconic ships, new navigation controls, an environmental barrier that will allow them to travel underwater or in extreme temperatures, new arcane weaponry such as her self-appointed Perel missiles, and a new control system for a willing Eterna or humanoid symbiote to have complete control over the ship's functions. This new and upgraded Stormchaser, however, has reached its zenith. With its current Ethereum engines, it will be unable to travel to astral space or make use of further greater weapons designs Azaria has planned. She does, however, give the party a tool and suggests that if they can bring her two powerful fiends, celestials, or elementals, she could upgrade the Stormchaser even further. Lucius suggests that perhaps now is a good time to update the ship's name, and Nova steps into the new engineering pod and experiences the strange sensations that an Eterna would have in control of one of these great ships. And that is pretty much where we left things off last week. We were sadly missing Katie and Ree, So if you guys have any questions about the stuff that was sort of revealed with the Stormchaser, now is a good time to ask or to inquire about that. I am very sad that you didn't get to join us for that, mainly because I think Rhiannon would have freaked out at Azaria's mansion and would have loved it immensely. It was full of ghostly banshee maids and skeletal butlers and bone lifts and lots of bones, basically.
Yes.
But the Stormchaser has been pretty much it still looks the same. The sort of deck and the prow is a little bit longer than it was before. It's now coated in this kind of crystalline armor, so it still has this kind of the same design shape, but very clearly upgraded all throughout. There is now the engine.
There's like guns on the front that split apart, like the egg carrier from Sonic Adventure
Not
1.
yet.
Remember that?
No, not yet. That was Azaria's next stage, like to have a main
I
cannon.
knew Ree would love it. I knew.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
Why are we
incredible.
naming the ship, though? Stormchaser is a great name. We only just got a name, guys. Come on.
You guys could still be this, but this was the idea with the ship's name was that its purpose is perhaps going beyond just chasing storms. I think that was the
Ooh.
idea of it.
I think the best suggestion that came up was Starchaser, so not
that's
too
cool.
Not
far
Boaty
away. but
McBoatface.
Not Boaty McFace.
Ah, damn it. Boaty McBoatface would be great.
I initially came up with an idea that definitely got overshadowed by Starchaser, which is way better. Which was
Because I can't remember what your name was.
Siaska's Salvation.
Siaska's
Or
Salvation.
The Salvation.
Or the Salvation.
That's
And I think Azaria suggested Storm's Requiem or something like that, I think was another one. And then the crew, aka chat, suggested Starchaser as well, which was like a sort of like
I
thing.
kind of love
Starchaser's pretty good.
It is
Starchaser's
great.
I like
awesome.
Starchaser.
Yeah.
It's a
It's an
logical
illegal-
upgrade.
We
That's
should
it,
listen
right?
to that
It
crew
fits.
sometimes, They're all right.
No.
But no formal decision needs to be made yet. You are still on Aerois, and the ship isn't fully upgraded, as Azaria has mentioned. There is still more that could be done, but with its current engines, it needs a new power source, and to do that, you will need to capture 2 powerful magical beings. You are given a device. The Binding Sphere, which is a specific magical sort of Pokeball, which will capture a powerful thing. If it fails a Wisdom saving throw, it has to fail a saving throw, and then it will get captured inside. And it can only hold 1 creature at a time as well.
So
Does it
yeah,
work on Titan?
well, it's funny. It's funny you should say that, Rhiannon and Katie, because we were thinking we might want to stuff Grotz into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
You might just imprison Grutz and have him use him,
Yeah, why
as a
not?
power source for our
Yeah,
ship.
yeah.
That would just be
So
amazing.
there was Titan. No, a Titan wouldn't work. It only works. So it has to be an elemental, a fiend, or a celestial. And a Titan is kind of like its own separate type of creature in Aerois. Like I know in D&D, they're normally like
Does a
elementals
Fey
and stuff.
creature work?
Fey creature would not work. No.
I was
the
thinking
Fey
of putting
creatures are a
Hope
bit
in there.
too- Yeah.
Oh no, Thalia.
I
Thalia
don't
in
think
there.
I don't think that would fly.
What about the Wings of Ishtar? They fucking betrayed us.
Yeah. Let's get Zelion.
Yeah,
Well,
you could certainly
Everyone in!
They didn't
Get in the
betray as such.
They just didn't turn
Let
up.
you
I
down.
did.
let
Just
you
like-
They
down.
let us down in a time when we were trapped in the worst place.
They
I'm
ghosted
not
us.
mad about it. I'm just disappointed.
I'm
Yeah.
still mad.
I've
about it.
blocked them. I've blocked them on my phone, man. Like,
But one thing was made clear is that the bigger discrepancy between, because you need 2 of them, and one thing that Azari made clear is that if they are opposed elements, shall we say, so either like fire and water or fiend and celestial, the greater the power output would be. But if you have a bigger discrepancy, like let's say you had like a super powerful solar angel and then you had an imp, the imp would reduce the power output immensely. If you have 2 creatures of about the same power, then
Right.
that creates a more powerful
So
output, right?
get Gratz. We've got to
Yeah.
really get something on the
Yeah.
other
About
side.
their power level.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
don't
Put 'em in
necessarily
there.
need to have the most powerful, you don't necessarily need to have an angel of equivalent power, but if you
I
don't
think,
get a super powerful
Ice
angel, it would
Cool.
you'd not get the most out of it.
I think let's get Gratz and then just a real shit divinity on the other side, celestial on the other side, and then we can just, not only have we captured him, we are bottlenecking him hard.
We nerfed Gratz.
That'll make him really mad.
It'd be so good.
We're not even using all your
Fuming.
power, mate.
We don't need you.
Don't
We
need
use
it.
anything
Need it.
else.
What?
You could certainly try if you wish to
Why
be
is the
vindictive.
Starchaser spluttering? It's just, it's not
Angry
going.
demon. Just
No, you don't understand. It's vengeance in these engines.
There may be
Vengeance.
unknown consequences for such issues.
What?
actually good.
You just
I
said
just
the
I
word
just love this
vengeance.
idea of us hazing like Gratz again. Like especially I don't
Yeah.
want to be too arrogant, but we kicked his ass last time we saw him.
Yep.
So I just
You
love
definitely
this.
did.
I love this idea of us just turning up and being like, "Sup, bruh?" Get
I
in the
will
boat."
say,
but it was
since
on
you
his
guys
own
fought, since you guys fought Gratz, Monsters of the
Yeah.
Multiverse has come out with an updated Gratz stat block.
Oh.
So if you fight him again, I'm using the new one
Okay.
because
Down,
that
let's
old
go.
one is poo.
Rock and roll.
But yes,
I do. I
So
just
that
love the
was-
idea. I love the image of just
Yeah,
us. Just,
I
like,
mean,
stuff.
Gratz would be if you were able to capture Gratz and convince like an Empyrean, which is the highest level of Celestial. It's basically like, these are mega angels. Those two
Mangels.
would create an incredibly powerful energy source. Or even if you were able to capture like a really high level angel, like a Solar or something like that, it would not be as powerful, but it would still be pretty strong. But yeah, there you go. That was all taking place in Azaria's magnificent mansion. She took you into like her extra dimensional palace, basically, where you kind of witnessed everything. And then I think at the end of it, everybody was taken down onto the ship. Nova went down into the new engine room, which has been built, which is kind of resembles more of a sci-fi kind of metal and crystal chamber. And there is a sort of pod, like a coffin, that she places herself in.
Why are you gonna say
and then-
coffin?
Well, because it is. It's like a narrow chamber. Like that
Pod
you
is
like.
fine. Just a pod.
Pod, coffin, same thing.
No.
And in that state, sort of Nova went into a sort of almost serene, meditative. Her eyes closed. She sinks in, almost like she's floating in water. But then you all became aware that her voice was sort of coming out all the different ship systems and became a lot more sort of AI and more merged with Tiangong. It was more Tiangong than perhaps it was Nova Vija. So Tom's dying over something.
You know what it is? Trot said the word, and you said, what did you say?
I said
Magnificent
vengeance
angel or
engines,
something.
and then Trot said vengeance, and I.
And then he said, mangel for the.
Oh, it's not funny. I get into this
It's not.
state
No,
where
you're
I
right,
just-
Tom. It's not funny.
Something. It's like the laughter gets inside me, and I don't know how to remove it.
That was me and Bim,
That
mate.
anymore.
Don't you worry about it.
Oh, yeah, Bim.
Oh no.
Bonk. Floating
Not
away,
again.
little dead body.
Jesus Christ.
Sad
Vengeance.
moment.
The arms of the angel. It's little spinning him. Flying around.
Cartwheeling red in.
Anyway,
flying through
If
space.
you've not seen that episode, you won't have a clue who Bim is or why it was very funny.
No.
Go back and watch it. It's a pretty
Go
good
back.
one.
Tragic death.
hilarious.
But
Yeah.
Was it tragic? I don't know.
Well, it was supposed to be. And
Yeah.
it was not.
Yeah, I guess.
what
And it
happened.
wasn't.
It was not.
All death is tragic until that one happened.
Until it's Bim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
until
until it's
it's
been sliding off the window.
But yeah, other little
Yeah.
things I forgot to mention in the recap. The crew all now have uniforms. They are wearing
Okay.
what was once you had recovered a bunch of Valkyrian sort of like suits, basically like leather sort of Mass Effect-y spacesuits. Fancy, but more fancy, because that's what we do here. I just put the word fantasy in front of it, and it's no longer sci-fi. The suits have been recolored. They still keep the sort of darker black and greys, but the purple and the emblems of the Valkyrian Empire are gone. And Lucius actually designed touches that incorporated all of your characters into it. So I believe that there is a pair of sort of like stylized wings on the back to represent Quill. There is a
Embroidered,
kind
yes.
of a gemstone, embroidered. There's a gemstone embedded into the chest, which resembles the Matrix. The armbands each have a strip of Ayla's tartan that go around the arms, like around the biceps. And then on the collar, there is a sort of stylized Tiangong sword, and then a strip of prismatic, like rainbow light going into Siaska's emblem, and then it splits out into white light as like a sort of like chevron on the collar. And yeah, it's like a little touch. And they also, Azaria has equipped them all with sort of these metal headbands that they can touch, and it basically provides them with like an atmosphere if you were to like, if they were fighting out in astral space or underwater or something like that. And again, it provides them some magical protection. No, it's not.
No.
Like a
It
Zorb.
conforms to their head. It's not a giant Zorb, no.
But just for their head.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
Yep.
so that's it.
It's like the top
go on.
of the deck of the ship. Is that like encased?
What-
for
that's-
No,
astral
it's
space?
all still
No,
open.
it's all
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, it's all still open, so it still resembles the sailing ship. It still looks like the Stormchaser, this kind of like airship galleon. But there is now a system called the environmental shield, which can be activated, which kind of surrounds it in a bubble and creates
Oh,
like
cool.
oxygen and breathable and gravity and breathable, air and stuff like that on the deck of the ship. So you can still be stood on the deck of the ship. It makes it more like, if you've seen the Disney movie Treasure Planet, it makes it a bit more
yes.
like that.
Oh.
I also, I imagine, roleplay wise and lore wise, it would be like taking the technology of Gusthaven and other Sky Cities and kind of augmenting it and enhancing it and improving it.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's
Really cool.
basically built on the weather systems that enable the Sky Cities to kind of operate at such high altitudes. It's adapting it, shrinking it down, modifying it for like a moving ship, and just and strengthening it, basically, like making it so that you can survive extreme temperatures. Unfortunately, the Ethereum engines are not strong enough to deal with the vacuum of astral space. So that is why until you can upgrade those engines, the Stormchaser or the Starchaser won't be able to travel into astral space currently.
Nice.
Cool.
Amazing.
I
That
believe
sounds so cool.
Lucius also mentioned at the end that we have the whole idea of getting these two entities to go into astral space. However, we also have a volcano to visit in the meantime. A lot of people that need our help right now. Before
Several
we
volcanoes
leave
are going off. So there is currently the three sort of tasks that were sort of brought to your attention outside of all the stuff with the Valkyrian Empire, outside the stuff with Vortensar, the Ganas city, outside of like the Titans and all this other stuff. The Hawkstorm Archipelago, there are a series of earthquakes and volcanoes going off. Something is causing some sort of destabilization in the environment. You've also, the people there, the Tritons and the people of Porto Suvrano, have also noticed that there are these gemstone dwarven women that have been seen around ruins of Solwynn, your previous homeland century, up to something. Nobody really knows what they're doing. People can't get close to them. They either get shooed away or forced away by magic and things like that. But they're somehow connected, is what you've ascertained. Other tasks include a band of formerly religious knights called the Order of the Blackened Rose, who served Kilara, the goddess of death, who were once kind of like the guardians of the world and made sure that undead didn't cause problems and basically helped people kind of like on their way. They have now returned. They went missing. They've now returned seemingly as sorrowful killers, like who are deep in mourning and will just butcher and slaughter people as quickly and as painlessly as they can, almost as if like trying to hurry them onto the afterlife. They are, small in number, but the longer they are left to it, the more people will probably die. You have dispatched a unit of scouts to try and locate where they're operating from. And then finally, there are three great beasts, kaiju threats that have been unleashed on the continent of Al-Saraf, which you quite rightly attribute to the Titan Atelicus, who you knew was always going to be a bit of a problem. And these beasts have seemingly been unleashed to weed out the weak and make sure that only the strong survive and that sort of nonsense.
So
Yes.
the things that are going on, the beasts, the Blackened Rose, and the volcano. Obviously, one of them Atelicus, potentially. One of them Kilara. Was the volcano one directly
Velena.
linked to Velena?
Yeah.
I mean,
It was or not.
there was no proof either way, but dwarven maidens, you know that Velena is often depicted as a dwarven woman, like a smith.
Yeah.
Solwynn Sentry would know this. The area of Solwynn was previously under Velena. Velena was the patron god of that domain, so it being connected to that area definitely links in. Like Velena was heavily connected to stuff like Root and the development of the Astoria dynasty and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely seems to match up that this is probably connected to Velena.
Cool. All right, nice. Just want to make sure we knew what we were doing, what we were up against.
Yes.
I could double check with Root and ask, just to make sure. That would.
You are welcome to do whatever you like. If that is something you would like to do, if you want to use the commune spell to ask Root some questions, you absolutely can.
Any info about Solvin, either now or then, would be useful, I'm sure.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. Do you want to do that, Sentry?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's give it a go.
So commune is you can ask up to like 3 questions, right?
Yeah.
And you spend the charges from the Matrix. Yeah. So you focus for a moment, Sentry. You feel the power of the Matrix in your sort of spread this warmth through your body. You close your eyes and you find yourself drifting on that familiar amber river, drifting amongst the souls and the sentiences of thousands of guardians who have lived and are yet to be reborn, or ones that you have rescued that are in this deep sense of slumber and patient waiting for themselves to heal and recover. And at the heart of it all, you find this kind of much brighter, much stronger collective of sentience, which is sort of an amalgamation of all the different primes, but Root, as you know him, your predecessor before you took on the title, Root Prime stands waiting, and you feel that familiar presence wash over you. Sentinel Prime, you have need of my wisdom.
Hi, Root. We're looking into Hawkstorm Archipelago and Solvin. We have reason to believe that Velena is causing some kind of volcanic disruption. Is that the case? Is this Velena's doing?
You feel Root sort of scanning through your own memories, almost trying to get more information, to ascertain the situation. I believe that Velena is responsible for these disruptions, is the answer you get. So it has to be yes or no, or a very short cryptic answer with the spell. But yeah, it is 100%. This is definitely Velena's is connected to this. You have 2 more questions.
Why?
As Valkyrian and Hadar draw near, the Titans, like children without a mother, are frightened. They fall back to what they know, their nature, the parts of them that Siaska gave them. She does what she was always meant to do. That's the answer you get.
Why Solvin?
Solwynn was once Velena's land, the patron titan, the deity of the domain. Her and Guinevere Astoria were very well connected. Much of the Queen's knowledge was born from divine inspiration. It is her home.
Thank you, Root.
I answer all that I can, but even I do not know the mind of a Titan. I do not know the reasons that Velena does this. I can only make my assumptions on what I have observed and what I know. There may be more to this than meets the eye.
We'll keep an eye out.
Good luck.
Solvin holds the key. Thank you.
And you feel till all are one, and you feel yourself, your consciousness drift back, and Sentry's eyes light up once again as she returns to consciousness with all of you.
And what did Root say?
It's difficult to know an exact reason why Velena is doing this, but it would appear that she's frightened. She's terrified. We have to figure out what's going on in Solwynn. So it could be her links to Queen Astoria. It could be I don't know. There's so much that we need to understand. I suppose going there is going to be the best way to ascertain a true answer.
True. I mean, of all the disasters, the volcano is currently the biggest threat. So I think it makes sense that we get there as quick as we can. It's just a question of how. Are we going to take the storm? Wait, what is it
Yes.
now? Is it still the Stormchaser?
Technically, it can't go to space yet, so technically, it's probably still Stormchaser, right?
He's got a point.
And then when we trap Gratz and whatever other huge, powerful being, then it can be the Star Chaser, I think.
Okay. Stormchaser then.
It's like we reclass it when it becomes, able to go into space. We reclass the ship. Oh, I'm so excited.
Hey everyone, I've just got these new banners made for Siaska's Salvation. What do you think? I've gone in and embossed the font here, and I think it looks wonderful. It really matches. What do you think?
Oh, that does. Now,
Let me hold it up
does
against
look
the
lovely.
wall here.
Well,
Do you
Lucius,
think-
Is that
quite a
gold? Have
long
you
name.
done that?
If
Or
we
banner.
just named it Star Chaser, though, we could just cross out Storm, write Star above it.
Mm.
Job done. Less expensive,
Oh, you
Efficient.
went with... We're going with Star Chaser.
Well,
That's okay. That's okay.
It's not us. The crew decided. It was mainly a sort of a
Of
vocal
course,
name.
of course. I had that made as well. In case
Did
of,
you?
I just didn't. I
Good.
couldn't bring it in.
It is probably a much smaller banner though, because Siaska's Salvation is very long, very long.
It is. Yes, it's quite long.
A lot of S's as well. It's quite difficult
Well,
to see.
Right.
suppose.
Yes.
Maybe
I suppose.
Lucius-
Yeah.
What if we? There's a lifeboat. I'm sure there's a lifeboat. I'm pretty sure I designed one. A life. We could name the life pod Siaska's Salvation.
I appreciate the effort,
Mark,
Kim, of like,
Mark,
I'm just going to
Mark,
make some bullshit
no,
up.
No,
and try
Mark.
and get it
No,
in.
Mark. Nova is making up bullshit to try and calm Lucius
That's
down.
fine.
I'm very well aware there's no life ship. There's no little
there
dinghy
is,
or anything
there is
like
a
that.
skiff. You do have a
But
skiff.
Lucius doesn't
but
know this. That's what I'm talking about. Like a little, like a little.
You could call it. Well, you have
skiff.
like a little runaround. You have the skiff. You could call that
Yeah.
the
So
Siesta
the skiff is
Salvation.
called Siaska's Salvation. Well, it's like because you know when there was the actual competition to name the ship, and everyone voted it Boaty McBoatface. They named the actual ship something else proper, but they named the actual lifeboat, the little emergency life. They named that Boaty McBoatface. So it was still kind of part of it. That's what I'm doing here with
Gotcha.
the child, precious.
No,
child.
but there isn't a lifeboat.
There is. It's a skiff.
I'm the captain. I know this.
There's a skiff. We've been there. It's fine. I'll show you. I'll show you now.
I know about the skiff,
If
sure,
we're
but that's
into the-
technicalities.
The ship.
We
Okay.
can call that Siaska's Salvation because it's salvation in case everything goes kablooey. Not that everything will.
No, no, it's fine. That won't. Sai won't fit on the skiff. I'll get the other one.
Good.
Another
There isn't
day.
another one, is there?
So where are we going?
Okay. Well, Hawkstorn Archipelago. As soon as we can.
Right, of course.
So
Okay.
is everyone ready?
That's going to be my next question.
Snacks, got potions. Have a look.
I got so
Yeah.
preoccupied with Nova and going into the pod, and I completely forgot about preparing for the next step. So maybe we could go.
I want to live there forever now.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think we need
It
to have
was-
that conversation before we go.
One of
On
the
this
most
mission.
invigorating experiences I've ever had in my life.
Wow. Can anyone go in there, or?
It might blow up your brain. I think one of the only reasons I survived is because of Tiangong.
Ah, right.
Evil pod.
That sounds really scary. Can you not?
Evil pod.
Can you maybe stay outside? I don't want you to blow your brain up.
But it's not.
I
It's
need
not
your
no, no, 'cause
brain.
Tiangong is my safety net. They filter
you're
all the
okay.
information so I don't explode from all the information going into me at the same time.
Let me do a vitals check. You haven't got a headache. Your eyes are.
Oh, your hands
good, no
cold.
bloodshot eyes.
Your hands
You
are cold.
okay?
Really cold hands. Oh,
Let me just
cold
get your heart
hands.
rate. Let me get your heart rate. Let me get your heart rate.
Oh, it's really fast because you're so cold. You're so
Sorry, sorry,
cold.
Okay. Okay, you seem okay. Okay.
Do you have a heart rate sentry, or is it like a matrix pulse or something?
I've never checked my own heart rate. What?
I'll have a listen. I'll have a listen.
Okay. Okay.
It's just like a constant hum. It's just that kind of power hum. Ooh, that's it. There's no heart rate.
Just like us. Yes. Perfect.
Well, I mean, you should listen to mine.
What's yours like?
It's like a hummingbird. Yeah, and it's so hollow in there. It just echoes all
It
around.
just
his
reverberates.
little body, little
It's like the
hollow
Blue Man
bird
Group.
body.
You can listen to my leg and you can still hear my heartbeat. It's amazing.
So my question, if there's any things that you would like to stock up on, supplies you want to buy, now is the time to do it. The other question I had is, are you taking anybody extra with you, or are you just sticking with the normal crew?
Good question.
How are we dealing with water breathing for the non-water breathers among us?
Well, if you're on the ship, you should be okay. It's only if you get
Yeah, but
off
if
the
we have
ship
to go
that will be a
outside the
problem. Yeah, that would certainly be a problem.
Because the gals are good, but the boys aren't. No.
We should speak
No
to
way.
Azaria, maybe. And she obviously has her shop still. She might have some magic equipment or scrolls or something like that of water breathing. I know Nova.
Do some
Oh, we might
scrolls.
also need some kind of heat protection as well. I actually have one potion of fire resistance.
Oh.
I don't know when I got that.
That's a good idea, actually. Yes, volcanoes. Yes. Fire resistance, important. All right, let's put together a shopping list.
Fire resistance and water breathing.
I have 2 potions of fire resistance.
We have 3 potions of fire resistance.
Excellent.
When you actually check your gear,
I have I've got 11 potions in this bag.
Okay, Sentry
I
killed out on
stopped
us. I have one
Oh.
healing potion.
Sentry specifically, the last time you guys all did what things do you want to spend money on? Sentry basically sent me a list of, I want to buy a bunch of these potions to help my friends, which was like a bunch of resistance potions and things like that, for situations, which was very sweet.
When was that?
It wasn't that long ago. It was probably just before the
Last year.
Feywild stuff, I think.
Okay, I'm just remembering when
Well.
when there
My
was a
track
potion
record
that
with
was
potions is it's not good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
very long time ago.
That was a long time. Different character.
In terms
Different
of
time.
if you're asking Azaria will mention to you, I'm not going to roleplay out. She probably has enough potions of water breathing for one each. They cost 180 gold, 180 gold each. A spell scroll of water breathing at level 3 will cost you 200 gold. And I think that covers enough characters for everybody, because I think it's you cast it once and it affects a bunch of creatures, I believe. Up to
Yeah,
10,
so we have,
10
8
willing
people.
creatures.
And,
Yeah, it's up to 10 willing creatures. So the scroll is the cheaper way to do it, because one scroll is 200 gold, but you need to have somebody who can actually use that scroll, which I believe is currently only Quill. I don't know if sorcerers have access to it.
spell
And
is
I
it,
don't know if
sorry?
Nova's high enough
Water
anymore.
breathing.
Yeah, probably not.
3rd level spell, I believe.
Oh. Yeah, actually, I can.
Sorry, sorcerer. Yeah, sorcerer does have access to it. In fact, actually, Quill doesn't. I don't believe.
Not high enough
Sorcerer does have access to it.
I'm up to 3rd level.
It's not on the warlock spell list, unfortunately.
No.
So only Lucius can use the scroll. So potions are good for if you're in an emergency and you need, if the spell goes on you and you need your own version. Potions
That's
good for
8
that.
hours, right?
I believe it is 8 hours. Yeah, 24 hours in fact.
24.
Excellent. All right.
Okay, and
We'll
we
get
need
4
just.
scrolls then.
Oh, okay.
We don't
4
need it.
scrolls.
One scroll does 10 people.
1 scroll.
Prepare.
Please, Azaria.
We'll get 2
Do you-
scrolls.
One day, Chris Rock will listen to me one day. It's fine.
Let's get
what did
2
you say?
scrolls.
Yeah, one scroll is 200 GP if you just want the
Yeah.
one scroll, and
Let's
then
just
each
get 2.
potion
We
is
might be there
180.
for longer.
Sure. Oh, you can buy that. And then
And in terms of potions,
2
so
more or 3 more, 2 more fire resistance ones.
I'm just looking for I'm using sane magic item prices, which is if you Google it, it's a good way of finding
prices.
good. Yeah,
There you go.
basically, because the DMG doesn't actually give you like prices for fireball for magic items.
Then I think that's it. That's all we need. Apart from maybe 4 removable rods.
Potion of fire
Well-
resistance will set you back about 300 gold each, and they last 1 hour.
Not huge. However, yeah, they might be very useful at the same time.
Yeah.
Volcanoes and all that.
So we've currently got how many? 3? So we're missing
Yeah, we got
2.
3, so we could get another.
Right.
2, yeah. Just a reminder, we have 16,000 gold.
We can get them. Just get them.
Oh.
Just subtract, add to your inventory.
And that's it. Shopping done.
Who's
1,360.
Healing?
who's taking the
Who?
potions?
Do you want to distribute, Sentry?
I can distribute, yeah.
How many are you giving to the individuals here?
I've already got one.
You've got one, I've got 2. So I'll
Nada.
give... You've got none. Okay. So I will give one of mine to you, Lucius, and then the other 2 go to
Are these
Nova and Ayla.
regular?
That should be everyone.
The potions of
only
resistance
get-
just
yeah.
come as one type. They don't vary in type.
No, I meant the healing ones.
Oh,
We
sorry.
don't have
those
healing. We haven't bought any healing potions.
Don't need them. You got
No,
me.
Sentry's got a load, right?
Talking about...
Oh,
No,
the-
Sentry's got fire resistance.
Okay, gotcha. I'll take a fire resistance one then.
So you all have one
So
fire
it's
resistance
called-
each.
Yeah, it's called Potion of Resistance. You can find it in D&D Beyond, so you can just add it yourselves. And then how many? So you bought 2 more or 3 more?
It's enough for one each, I think.
2.
2 more.
I think
So
2
that
of
was
everything,
600.
yeah.
So yeah, okay. So 600 gold for that, and then 180 for each of the water breathing ones, and then 200 for the 2 scrolls.
Yeah, 1360 is what I calculated that as.
Sure. All right. Just make sure you write all this stuff down. Make sure it's on sheets.
It's on my sheet. And then,
But
yeah, we need to
for-
buy some potions.
Yeah.
then.
Before we set out, I had a thought, a radical thought, and the last time I had radical thoughts, a ship blew up.
Doesn't she?
So, no. It was more about something else. You know how Lucius and I have these amulets of proof against detection and location? Because we were trying to, throw Starvane off the scent, not being able to scry us two, because he has Valor's dagger that was Lucius's, and he has bits of Tiangong, which is, Tiangong, gestures at Tiangong. Kind of thinking of taking it off and attuning to something else.
It does seem pretty useless now.
When we saw him in the chamber recently, he just seemed to know everything about what we've been up to. So, yeah, dunno.
Can we discount some of our goods with these amulets, Azaria?
I mean, I can certainly buy them back there, but I would be buying them at a much reduced rate.
I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to have them in our pocket in case something bad happens in the future.
All right, we'll keep them on us.
We got
I'll just put it in my pocket.
gold.
There.
But would the team be okay with that? If, because it does mean that he would just be able to be like, hey.
I
like,
believe-
"Hey."
They were redundant to a degree. I believe there's other methods
Interesting.
of finding out where we were and what we were doing because of the impact we have on the world.
He did seem to know everything we've been up to and we are going to do. He seemed to know that, we'd booped Zephyr on the snoot and you know, other things. He knew we were going after the other Titans. Yeah.
And how did he know that, Nova? No,
What are
I'm
you
kidding.
saying?
I'm kidding.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, my heart's real fast. Oh, my heart's real fast. Oh,
no,
don't do that.
Not as fast as he is.
Breathe.
No.
Breathe. Okay.
The bird's accusing me again.
Right, are we all ready to receive some potions of superior healing from Quill's money?
Yes.
No, I've got another question. Who's still wearing messenger rings?
Not me.
Not me.
Anyone still wearing theirs?
Well, I could swap it now. So,
I was wondering because I'm still wearing mine. I was wondering if anybody else is still wearing
oh,
this.
have you been speaking in it?
I've not been getting messages back for ages.
Oh, sorry, Sentry.
I thought mine was maybe broken.
It's really hard to tell with you because you've got such a blank face all the time. It's hard
Although
to know
it's
if
a
you're
very-
communicating
Oh,
through your mind.
It's a very good point that we could probably use them, you know, underwater when we can't talk.
Yes, that's a very good
Okay.
point.
Oh,
Good job,
I was-
Sentry. Yeah, the amulet. You see, we had to.
The wing.
Nova's like lowering
the
the helm
spear.
of teleportation on her head. Like, oh.
I'm beginning my attunement by putting it back on. I assume by the time we
Takes an hour?
reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to assume you're doing like you're tuning and stuff before you really set out. Like, it's not going to be. Yeah, it's going to be a bigger thing. So, yeah, you guys can make those changes as you need to. I'll leave that all in your
record.
hands.
I am not.
Hi,
attuning to
Starbane.
The ring.
Hi.
Okay.
Messenger ring.
So
I
it's only
can't.
Lucius and Sentry who are messengering.
Yes.
It takes a slot, and I don't. Have
Wait.
a slot.
Okay. Lucius just thinks everyone's doing it now. So.
Okay.
so does Sentry.
I believe
Actually,
I
my-
think Quill gave his to Aerois, so I think Aerois
Yes.
has
One is given up. Yeah.
I can't get rid of any of mine without drastically nerfing myself. it's my wing, my spear, and the Wayfinder's Guide. Like, I'm not getting rid of those.
Fair enough.
I don't even have it in my inventory because I must have forgotten about it. But
Yoted it.
I can't attune to it because I've got the belt. I've got stuff that boosts my dex, my strength, and my hammer, so I can't.
Well, I'm just going to assume that you've lost your ring somewhere.
That would be so funny.
No, I'll just add it. It's just not. I don't think I remember the name of what it was. Is
Well,
it
Tom, do you still have yours on your inventory?
Ring of what?
It's just
I love
messenger.
mine.
I do have mine, yeah.
Right. So I think then Ayla gave hers to Aerois then, because if you still
No, I
have
didn't.
yours,
I
then
definitely didn't give. I definitely did not.
Well, you're
I
the
just-
only one who doesn't have it on your character sheet.
Yes, because as a person, I just failed to fucking write it. That's it. Like
No, you
Quill
definitely had
gave
it on
it.
there.
I'm going to remove mine. It's fine.
Quill
Okay.
gave his away for sure.
I'm pretty sure I gave mine away. That might have been me not doing
Sure.
it. Anyway,
Doesn't
let's
matter.
get on that ship.
Sure. All done?
Did we want healing potions?
Yes.
Son of a... Okay, how much are they?
Well, it depends what
What?
she has in stock.
It also depends on the level that you want as well.
Superior.
got
Greater
normal,
What's higher than superior?
Supreme. Supreme
much
is the
is
highest
Supreme?
level.
Room.
Yeah.
Supreme, I'm going to price them at 1,500 gold each.
Do
So
we-
1,500 each. But they are the highest level healing potion you can get. She only has,
Wait,
I
what
would
is
probably
that
say,
exactly?
on Horizon, there's 2 of those you can buy. There's probably 2 of those and 4 superior healing potions.
I'd like
In-
to collect them all. I currently have one of every other one.
Think of the quaffage.
So much quaffage.
High
It takes
quality
3 full
quaffage.
turns to drink that.
It's like a
it's like-
huel. You're like,
It
oh,
gloops
so
out as
full.
well.
Yeah. Rente.
Like cowpole.
Oh,
Well,
Banana cowpole
how
there,
many
right?
greater healings do you have then? That's I know those are
Greater,
4.
like, yeah, I was going to say, like, greater in the city, there's probably plenty of those. You can probably get sort of, yeah, well, how many do you want of the greater healing potions?
well, we have 4, right? Already.
I
I
have
have
4.
one.
5. So we have enough for 1 each.
I've got one regular.
Yeah, I've got one regular.
I think having those 2 supremes and just distributing these greater ones to 1 each will be okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Supremes are like 8d4 plus 8. They're the highest level healing potion you can have.
2 of them.
All right,
Two of them.
that's 3,000 gold.
And should we give it to the squishies?
Yes.
Please.
I'm taking
All right, so
one.
Lucius and
of
Quill
them.
take one each. Yeah.
Green.
All right.
Healer,
then-
healer.
My last question: Are you taking anybody else, or are you just going with the Stormchaser crew?
Do we want to take anyone else? Do we want Moonstar? I kind of don't, personally.
You guys have
Not
anyone
for
else?
personal reasons. I just don't want to put her near a volcano.
Right.
I mean, who else would we need? I guess it was Thingy who brought it to us, wasn't it? Was it Erin who brought us the problem?
Yeah, they're there.
first
They're not on Horizon. Duke Suvrano and Erin Coralsong are in their respective lands doing stuff, trying to solve these problems and things. You're probably going to go and either meet with one of them or go somewhere. It was more like,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's a cast of characters on Horizon. If you feel like you're going to go and deal with Valena, then I don't know if there's people you want
Vala.
to take with you.
Yeah, Valor and Max.
Max.
Do they want to come along?
If we're dealing with Titans, we're going to need Vala.
Yeah.
This is true. She can be on the ship at least.
Yep. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you tell Vala that's what you're doing, she's like, yes, absolutely. I need to. If you're going to go and deal with Valena, you'll need me to breach the demiplane. I don't know. I mean, it may be that she allows you access voluntarily, but if she doesn't, you'll need me to tear open a rift to enter it. And of course, if I'm going, then I'm assuming Maximilian, and he's just like, yes, I will be going with your leadership. We will remain on the ship wherever we can, trying to stay in safety. But yes, you'll need Her Highness.
Maybe we should ask Aerois to give the messenger ring to Valor, so that we can coordinate.
Well, the other one is like you have a bunch of spare messenger rings currently. Like Quill's
That's
not wearing
true.
his.
Who wants to give out
yeah,
the
actually.
Nova's
messenger
not
ring
wearing theirs. Like
to Valor?
The only person who's wearing one is Sentry.
And me.
and Lucius.
And
now.
Lucius. Okay, we got 2. Yeah, I think we could
Yeah.
give one to Vala for sure.
And then Araya's got one, so you can
So we've
contact
got the ship
when you need
covered.
to.
We've got Valor covered. We're good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Valor will take it and slip it on.
who's removing a greater healing potion from their inventory so Lucius can have one?
Me.
Well, Tom's got 4, so he
There you
goes
go.
down to 1, and then the 3.
I've
will
added
get
one.
So
Remove.
Ayla and Nova, make sure you add a greater healing potion.
A greater.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Excellent.
Nova
Tom
as well?
removed 3.
3.
Well, one
Well,
of
that
them
was the plan.
casual.
The plan was to have everybody has one each. Do you not listen to each other?
No,
Like
it's
Trot
just-
literally
it was
said,
just-
give one to each one person.
Well, Trot just said, I'm taking one, so I was like, great, I'll remove one. And then all of a sudden it was Nova and Ayla as well.
Well, before that, he said, give the 4 out to.
I'm panicking,
everyone
I'm
else.
drinking my Supreme Potion.
Nice.
We had
Yeah,
enough
mark it
for
off,
one
Tom.
each. We had enough for one each somewhere. So
Tom, you're drinking your potion, right? Mark it off.
Yeah. Roll those dice, baby.
Sure.
Trying to decide if I should bring Petal or not.
well, let's weigh up the
That's what I
pros and cons, Sentry. So imagine
Okay.
there's some scales, and I've got my hand on my left and right, and Petal is here. There's a volcano and a titan that wants to kill us over here. Right now, this was really down. So what are the benefits of bringing Petal?
She might want to see her home as an underwater ruin and a shell of what it was once before.
Oh, the scales are tipping, Sentry.
Yeah, he's sideways.
Yeah, okay, the scale helped. Thank you. Maybe not.
Tom,
Purely
that's
for
30
safety.
hit points from your
Purely
potion.
for
by the way.
safety.
Nice.
Yes.
I didn't agree.
Not just, Sentry, just safety. Not at all that might, traumatize her deeply in any way to see that, because, you remember what you felt when you saw it. It wasn't
Yeah.
the not the
No.
nicest. No.
Maybe we'll wait.
She'll be safer here.
You know what we should do? Take her there once we've saved the area.
Okay.
And once it's safe.
Well, I mean, you say save the area. Solwynn will always be a ruin. Like, Solwynn was destroyed, 500 years ago.
Once we've solved the problem.
Yeah. It's just that the lands that are there now, the Hawkstorn Archipelago that has obviously developed since then is now under threat. But Solwynn, has been a ruin for a long time. So.
That's the episode title, isn't it? Yeah.
No,
Solving the problem.
no, it's not.
We haven't done it
No.
yet.
Solving problems.
Okay. So,
it might be.
After following your little shopping exploits, gathering Valor and Maximilian, I'm just going to ignore your dumb jokes at this point. You make your way to the dock where the privacy screens that were previously protecting the Stormchaser from being visible to the general public have been removed, and there is a crowd has gathered to witness this very unusual, very impressive looking airship. And pushing your way through, you climb aboard the deck where your crew sort of are all waiting, snapping salutes in attention to you. Aerois, sort of in her new sort of uniform, still keeping the hat on, of course, but she will be waiting at the new sort of command console rather than a kind of ship's wheel. It is now more like the console of the Twin Star Longbow. And she'll just call out and just be like, "We're ready to leave when you are, Captain. Just give us the word. Send everyone to their stations, and we shall begin preparations."
Crew of the Stormchaser! It is an honor to serve with you all today, and we have another important mission ahead of us. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's like a cry from all the crew and the wolf pack. A big sort of like, ah!
Sorry, I thought I had a crew of wolves here among us. I thought you had some tenacity. Thank you. We're going to need every ounce of your strength, your focus, because we're going into uncertain territories here. And we are saving the world.
There's another big kind of cry and cheer from the crew.
Everyone, and I'm going to use the the captain's command to billow out my voice. To your stations!
With a flurry of
Stormchaser,
activity,
take flight!
the Wolfpack, those who kind of support the engineering, they rush down below decks. Those who see to the sails and the lines rush to the light lines, pulling those out as the pearlescent, glittering sails begin to unfold on the Stormchaser ship. Penny runs to the front and drops into one of the gunnery turrets, leaving the other one empty for the time being, assuming that potentially Ayla will jump on that one as she has in the past. Everybody runs to their positions. Lookout climbs up to the crow's nest. Aerois takes command at the deck, leaving, I believe, Nova for you to decide what is happening. Are you going inside the engineering pod, or is Tiangong going in?
I'll go in. Yeah, I think while it's not dangerous. Yeah.
You make your way down and climb in, feeling that same sensation as the door kind of shuts. You hear the hiss of sort of like mist and pressure, and then everything turns dark blue as you almost begin to feel like you're floating in deep ocean, and then your consciousness seems to awaken as your senses become the ship's senses, and you become vastly aware of the surroundings around the ship and all of the power thrumming through it from the twin Ethereum engines. Quill, you actually have a new station next to Aerois. As part of the sort of main command console, you have a series of, they almost look like crystalline sort of plates and squares, all held up on metallic sort of stands and metal poles. And these actually give you like a 360-degree view around the ship, almost like projecting sort of magical images, illusions, kind of examining the ship. There is a range of sort of like sensors which give you like map readouts and sort of geographical locations around the ship and things like that to act as a sort of sensory navigators kind of station, basically.
Press one of the plates.
Yeah, just
this one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It like zooms in and things like that.
I can see everything. Guys,
If I'm anywhere nearby and I can hear that, can I just put the middle finger up in the general direction of wherever Quill's looking at any time?
Well, you can just sort of like try and see where it is, but it does seem to be on the outsides of the ship itself rather than sort of like around Quill himself.
Ayla's going to make it a point to learn
over
where the points on the ship are across this journey, so that at any one time she can just flip the bird, literally.
Nova and Tiangong can see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And I think, yeah,
go on.
I think whatever console you're nearby at the time, you would hear a little like bleep next to you, just a little kind of like a little chirp every time you do it.
Every bit. And for Nova, you become aware of like who is using what systems and like what's going on. You don't necessarily have the power to override it, but you do know that you can increase power, you can expand its like functionality, you can decrease it if you need to transfer things to everything else. You also become aware that not only is the environmental shield, it does need to be activated. The environmental shield, it does try and conserve power. The longer the shield is active, the more power it will drain from the engines, reducing fuel consumption. But also that shield will also help deflect magical attacks. It is like a kind of force field as well, so it will help protect against like magical projectiles and things like that.
Shields up, red alert.
It is shields up.
But yeah, so does Nova, like the consoles that I'm using, does Nova see basically exactly what I can see on these consoles as well?
She doesn't see it exactly as you do. She can't do your job from her position, but she's aware of what you're doing and can, give you extra power if you need to like enhance the zoom level of like one of the sensors. Like you want to get a closer look at something, you could be like, Nova, can you give me some more power? And then she can enhance that. She's basically controlling the power outputs of the ship, but also like managing some of the more subsystems and things like that to keep everything running.
Okay, so it's not like she's just ultra aware of everything,
and she's not in control. She can't override what like the other thing, Nova, is while you're in this, you feel a compulsion that if Lucius tells you to do something, like you would have to really physically try and resist, like you would have to mentally try and resist the compulsion to do as he orders. Like the ship is keyed in that Lucius is the captain and what he says should be happening, basically. So you can't, it would take force of will to override Lucius's orders. It's not impossible, but it just would require a saving throw.
Like a charisma one, or just
I haven't decided yet. It might be charisma, it might be wisdom. We'll see.
Lucius will walk up to the helm.
Yep.
If anyone else is there, maybe Aerois or someone.
Yeah, Aerois is
I'm
basically
up there as well.
Yeah, so the where the wheel of the deck used to be, there is now a series of command consoles. One Quill is stationed at, the other one Aerois is at, and it has like a thing.
I'm waiting.
And then there is a station for you to stand, Lucius. There is like a position that's for you to stand that has these kind of raised metal scepters out of the deck that you can place your hands over, and they actually have a seminal command as well. Like you can place your hands on them, and that kind of projects your voice to all the consoles and things like that. It's the captain station, basically.
Oh my god.
Hello, testing, 1 2 1 2.
Everybody hears that echo through the ship.
Testing. Is this coming through?
Oh, it's Lucius. It's very, very echoey.
Oh, sorry. Is this better now?
There's some feedback, I think.
Right. Anyway, I'm going to do this for the benefit of Nova. I'll take the hands off and put them back on. Stormchaser Vija. Status report.
Captain Lucius Virion Elwin Elenasto. All ships' functions are optimal. All systems are ready to go.
Thank you.
Now, is there any way we can shorten it to just Captain for future reports?
That's Nova's job, Quill. You're doing the bloopy things.
Yep.
Okay?
I'm
That's
so much
your
fun.
job. I'm not quite sure what you're doing, but it looks fancy. I like it. I don't know what I'm doing, Quill. I'm holding these strange stand things. Oh, wait,
You're
this
doing
is
great.
still on. And I take my hands off the scepters.
Mm-hmm.
And then just walk about a bit and just chat to the crew if there's any downtime.
There's like it takes about 5 minutes for the Stormchaser, the Ethereum engines to fully power up, for the sails to be set, for everything to be ready to go. And in that time, you can sense amongst the crew there is this building excitement and anticipation. They've been sort of in dry dock for several months now as the ship's been upgraded, and they are all very excited to see all of these new magical gizmos that Azaria has installed and see what they do. They're all very proud of their new uniforms. There is this really big level of excitement of like, this is our next thing that we're going to go and do. So it's very good.
Awesome.
Excellent. So yeah,
Cool.
I'm very happy with everyone.
All right.
Yeah, and that's what Lucius is doing, just going around and checking in on individuals
Cool.
of the crew.
Well, and then what's Ayla and Sentry up to? Because I think like you guys currently don't have necessarily like fully functional roles like, you know, sensors and like engineering and things like that. So what are you guys potentially up to?
I think Ayla would potentially use some extra time she'll probably occasionally go up to random Wolfpack members and offer them some training if they want it. Like spend her time trying to like gently coax them to be better at their melee combat. If the ship was to be boarded, she'll spend her time probably just trying to teach fighting where people want it.
Yeah, I think there's even maybe like a section of their barracks has kind of been turned not into like a gymnasium, but it's like an open area with like sparring dummies, only like a couple of them at a time. But there are like racks of weaponry and things like that. They've all been sort of training to use these rifles, and you can see that these like the training to use these new range weapons, they have sort of neglected their more melee skills. So yeah, that's definitely something that over time you can slowly start helping the Wolfpack sort of develop their melee abilities and training them for boarding actions and things like that. Yeah, there's maybe one thing that you and Sentry find together, and it's actually a section of the mid-deck of the ship. It looks like it's stored underneath the deck, but it's kind of like in its own sort of secluded subsection. And it looks like it's a work in progress. It looks like Azaria was building something and then has stopped building it for whatever reason, maybe because the ship doesn't have enough power as it currently is. But it looks almost like it's kind of hard to, it looks like something that a person would either stand or sit in, and then it has like this V shape. There are like all these magical crystals, but it looks like, at best guess, the two of you would say it almost looks like it's something that could launch an individual at a great distance. Like it could actually be used to like launch a person at a vast distance to get them closer to something. It looks like it wasn't finished.
No, I wonder why.
It looks slightly deadly right now, Sentry, not gonna lie. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of invested in it in a weird way.
It's like it wouldn't be quite satin. It'd almost be like you would sort of crouch into it into like a sprinter's position,
Or like a...
and
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
We just fly. You just go flying out of the ship.
Yeah, but we should test this on Quill because he has wings, so that if he does get launched, he can, you know, get out of it. But then I think we could work with this. I'm intrigued. You could shoot me onto someone else's ship, and I can really fuck things up.
Oh, I can imagine. It'd be amazing.
How would I get back?
We could.
It's a work in progress.
there definitely doesn't seem to be any sort of retrieval system built in. This looks like it is a sort of person catapult is the best you guys would understand it as. This would probably look like it. And Sentry, it looks like it's kind of built for. Looking at the dimensions, it looks like it's built for the two of you specifically, because it is clearly built for like a more athletic, you know, larger framed individual. It doesn't look like it's built for the Wolfpack.
Big girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll have to send notice to Azaria and tell her we need a way of getting people back. Because as much as I would love to see, you know, you flying onto another ship and with your hammer and being amazing, it would be nice to also get you back. Because...
Yeah, but you know, I could have a featherfall token, and then I could maybe steal Nova's teleportation helmet thing, and then you know, worst case.
Well. You can fly with your hammer.
I can. Oh, I can. I could just. No, we don't need Quill. We don't need to test on Quill. I can do it. I can fly.
I'd shatter in that thing.
Should I try it? Should I give it go?
Just feathers.
Maybe not now. Maybe when we're close to somewhere where I know you can get back.
This doesn't look
Okay.
finished at the moment. This looks like it was like a halfway through being completed and then it was abandoned.
This has to happen, Sentry, because I could
Keep an
really,
eye on it.
I could just, wham, out on the other ship, do damage,
Would be
fly
amazing.
back. Yeah. Okay.
I want to
This
see
is a good tactic. Yeah.
Mm.
And you could follow me, and you can do it too, and then we'll figure out. We just need that way back for you. It'll be fine.
We could be like back to back, like
Yeah.
like giving. Oh,
You can like sunbeam the whole deck of people all in a row. I could like throw the hammer, get everyone in a row, take them all out, and then zip back on over to the Stormchaser / Star Chaser, depending on the time.
You could also
I'm-
potentially with Sentry with the Starbreaker as well. Like you would literally use as like you'd be charging through with the Starbreaker out front as well, and then Ayla like with the hammer, like you could bring it down mid attack, like as you are flying through. But yeah, something to look forward to if it gets finished. If you can find a way to.
Oh, Nova's
Sorry,
definitely working on
finished
that.
Yeah.
Nova's listening in on this conversation, by the way, through the
Oh, yeah.
consoles, and is
Yeah.
like making notes.
I'm watching it from outside. Lucius, Captain, just something to be aware of.
Yes.
Two of our crew,
Hey Quill!
namely Sentry and Ayla, have got some pretty crazy ideas. They've just found some weapon thing downstairs that Azaria hasn't
So
finished.
cool!
I'll
It's
messenger ring
gonna
Lucius.
war!
Captain Lucius.
There's
we
so
found
much
something.
going on.
We found
Yes.
something down.
So
Anyway,
hold
she's
Quill,
planning
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold.
We found something down in the middle of the ship. It's like a person cannon.
A person cannon.
Yeah, they found a
Yeah, we're
person
totally
cannon.
gonna shoot ourselves out of this cannon onto someone else's ship, fuck shit up, and then come back.
Yeah, me and Ayla, we're gonna fly out of the cannon.
You're not doing it right
Terrifying.
now, are you?
It's not finished.
That's not done yet. She didn't finish
It's
it.
not
She gave up on
finished.
it. She didn't finish it.
Sorry, is someone else there with you?
Ayla's here with me. Yeah.
Right, there's some interference on your ring.
Oh, sorry. But it's amazing. You should come see it.
All right, I will do, but I'm currently at the helm of the Stormchaser.
Oh yeah.
Sentry, I'm very
It does
busy.
feel like you guys have kind of discovered this as you do hear the Wolfpack Lucius calling back to you, like, Captain, all sails set, all ley lines prepared. And like you begin to hear like a reverberation. Nova, the Ethereum engines are fully powered, ready for launch.
Excellent
Captain-
work, Wolfpack. Oh,
Captain
sorry, that's me.
Lucius Firian Elwin Elenasto.
Yeah. Yes.
All engines are ready. Shall I engage reverse thrusters?
Stormchaser Vija. Engage.
You feel this kind of swell of power
Make it
as
so.
the Ethereum engines on the back of the Stormchaser flare to life. The sails fill with magically created air, and it begins to pull away into the open blue sky of Horizon. And you begin making your way towards the Hawksdawn Archipelago. And that is where we're going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to take our break, and then when we come back, we will will basically handle you guys arriving. My question, actually, before we go on break, then, where in the Hawksdawn Archipelago are you going? Are you going anywhere in particular? Because it's a big area. Like, where are you going?
Solwynn?
Well, Solwynn is a long lost ruin. Like you don't really know where Solwynn is.
So we could go to Porto Suvrano, or we could go back to where we went,
Porto Suvrano.
met the Tritons. What was it? Yamalotai.
Aaron,
Yeah, Yamalotai isn't in the Hawksdawn. It's not
Okay, not there,
Yamalotai
then let's
isn't
not-
near there. But
let's
you
not go
know
there.
that there are Tritons in that area. You just don't necessarily know exactly where they are.
Well,
Gotcha.
maybe if we were smart,
think
we organised.
Sovrano.
We could just go to the bit
it
that's
was
shaking the most.
Baron, because the Baron from Porto Suvrano came to the meeting
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Titan. So they were the ones who said
Duke.
it. So Porto Suvrano is a safe bet to meet the Baron at least.
Let's go there.
Sounds good.
All
Let's
right.
go there.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense.
Porto
in that case-
Suvrano.
Let's take a 5-minute break.
All right.
Let's take a break.
I'm
Oh,
gonna go get a donut.
I think we should take a break. Hi. Hello. Welcome back
Hello.
to the donation corner. before I start reading out your very generous donations, I'm just going to remind you, if you missed the intro, next week we escape the shackles of this dang webcam computer bedroom world that we're living in, and we are going to be live in the High Roller Studio for the very, very first time. And as a reminder of how we're able to do something this amazing and build this incredible set and make the studio happen, it's all thanks to Patreon and also the fundraiser as well, but mainly Patreon. If you enjoy our content and you want to support us in the best way possible and also get some cool additional content on the side as well, Patreon is
Patreon.com/high rollers
to do it. That is actually the correct URL. Well done.
Patreon.com/high rollers.
That's the one. Anyway, let's read out some donations from today. Well, not today, 6 days ago after the last stream. Viking Fungus donated $10 dues with no message. Thank you very much. And also, I've just realized my Streamlabs is listing stuff in a very weird way. Give me a second.
Patreon.com/high rollers. Patreon.com/high rollers. Go there
That's
now.
it.
Give us all your money.
Give us all your money. Cordor23 has donated today with, hey, Stormchasers. Just wanted to say thank you for helping me get through the last couple of years of engineering school and staying sane. Clear skies. Vengineering school. Thank you very much, Cordor 23. It's Nate the Great donated with. Been watching since Lightfall, and it's been a joy to watch the team evolve from the first setup to the new studio. Best of luck moving forward. Thank you very much. S. Poffington donated with, I am so nearly caught up. I have 3 episodes to go, and episode 139 is the funniest episode of any show I've ever watched. Is that the dinner episode?
That was the dinner. Yeah, that was the dinner.
Probably the dinner episode. Also, what's everyone's favorite Pokemon? Jirachi. Used to be Mew, but ever since the Pokemon streams, Jirachi. What's yours, Mark?
Bulbasaur. Don't fucking make that face. Don't you make that face about my boy. Fuck you.
Bulbasaur? Like, come on.
Bulbasaur.
Not even the best starter of that generation.
Shut your filthy mouth. 100% fucking best boy. You kidding?
It's all right. It's fine.
It's fucking all right. Gengar's pretty close. I do like Gengar.
It's not the best Pokemon, though, of all of them. It's not the best.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. Get that fucking Gen 2 shit out of here. Like, that's not
I'm not talking about Gen 2 shit. I'm talking about Gen 5 shit, baby.
Yeah, get that fucking shit out of here. It's all fucking nonsense, like key rings and ice cream cones. Garbage nonsense. Get fucking out of here.
Yeah, no, you're right. Fire Furfox. Fire Furfox. It's not even... What about Mew? Mew is the first 151.
You can fuck off. You can fuck off.
You can fuck off. Fuck you. You can fuck off. Fire Furfox has donated with watching live for the first time.
You fucking just say to me.
Recovering from major surgery. So many thanks for all the feels and from the campaign. Love you all so much. And sorry for the small dono. Am a poor. Don't apologize for any support. And obviously, as we've said a million times already, you don't have to support us financially. Just being there and watching and being a cool, chill guy in chat, and also occasionally saying, wow, Tom, you're really funny. Haha, in chat is all we need. Thanks. The Therin123 has donated with, hello, High Rollers. First time watching live since Lightfall campaign. Managed to catch up finally. You guys helped me get through some tough times, and Mark has inspired me to become a DM myself. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. The Therin123. Oh, good God, Scrog. Scrog has donated $405.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Thanks, Scrog.
I don't know what that translates to, but $405. Over $400.
Fucking Rhiannon. Agumon!
Scrog, thank you so much. Thanks for all of your adventures and journeys so far. I started watching Lightfall in June 2020 and everything in between, and now I'm finally live after 309 episodes.
Welcome.
Hence the donation amount. £309, I believe that is. Holy crap. Looking forward to... Hang on, don't move. You stay still. to what you guys make in the future. Thank you very much, Scrog. You're the best. You are actually the best. Ligaratus, speaking of Jirachi, Ligaratus was the name of the Jirachi in the Pokemon streams.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Oh, Ree, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Charizard. I know it's basic, but I'm bored.
Charizard's pretty cool. Like, Charizard's cool. It's not
Gengar.
Bulbasaur, but yeah, Gengar's good. I'm fully in Gengar team as well. Haunter, Gengar, both pretty rad.
Anyway,
Beedrill.
sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted this Ligaratus donation because it was for a full ass hundo. I should have mentioned that.
Wow.
Ligaratus,
Oh.
thank you so much.
Gengar,
Hey
though.
guys, just wanted to say thank you all for helping me get through the last 2 years. And now,
Thank you.
with my college career to be completed in May, just wanted to give you all a bit of my appreciation. Thanks again. Also, congrats on the new studio. Thank you very much, Ligaratus. The best Jirachi we've ever had.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will read the rest at the very, very end. See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Tom. Tom's already done it. Tom's already done a reminder, but don't forget, April 10th, next Sunday, back in that studio, baby. So make sure you come and join us for that. Make sure you had to go get his vape. Off he goes.
How is it
Off he goes
like
to get
April
that
10th
sweet-
already?
Yeah.
Well, April
Like-
10th is next week. You've
I
got
know,
another
but it's
7 days.
still.
Yeah.
It's just how?
Yep. March vanished. March didn't really exist
Yeah.
as a month, I don't
Oh.
think. But yes, so we will be in the studio next week. Fingers crossed, everything all goes well, which it should. We've done like some little stuff. We did like a very ad hoc trot scramble at the last minute to try and show off the stream last week. It sort of worked.
Yeah, it's
It will be a
also
lot better
yeah.
for Sunday.
not a representation of the quality that will be next week. Where
We
it's
made
streamed
so many changes
directly.
since that stream. Like, we
Yeah.
went in and tweaked all the audio. We sorted out a bunch of stuff in the set. Trot's done loads of, like, automation. It's going to be all very, very, very good.
Do you want to know what my favorite Pokemon is, Mike?
Yeah, go on. What's your favorite Pokemon? Actually, we didn't get Trot or Katie's favorite Pokemon. What even is that? What is that? It's a rock with a fucking nose on it. Do you even know the name of that Pokemon?
Protobass. Or
Protopass.
Probopass.
Protopath.
Protopass.
Protobass.
I'm just reading it from chat.
I googled it. Like worst
you.
Pokemon designs. There it is.
Yeah,
I mean, I
well,
hate the
to
ice
be
cream
fair,
ones.
At least that one isn't an ice cream cone or a pair of fucking
Yeah.
keys.
Honedge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honedge, sword.
My
with an
actual
eye.
favorite is
Whoa.
Poliwhirl.
Aegis.
I fucking forgot you love Poliwhirl. You fucking weirdo. You
Don't dare
absolute
face
freak.
palm. How dare you?
Slash is fucking legit, okay? He's so good.
What about you, Katie?
Kidding me?
I like
Katie,
What are
what's
you
Togepi.
talking about?
Togepi.
Togepi.
Togepi!
Little egg.
Togepi.
Little egg
Togepi.
boy.
Togepi. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Lame egg.
What?
Actually, to be honest, I really like Charmander. Like, just little.
Yeah.
Plastic, yeah.
Charmander's pretty cute. I can't
Little
argue
chaos
with
boy.
that. To be honest, all three of the OG stars, Squirtle, Bulbasaur,
Mm.
Charmander, I'd take any of them. They're fucking great. I
Yeah.
love those boys.
You think
They're
you could
my
take
good
any
boys.
of them?
I'm not.
I'd take any of them. Yeah, I'd
Yeah?
fight them. Yeah.
Fuck.
There they are.
Tyranitar.
Squirtle.
Oh,
All of them. Yeah.
Oddish, not bad.
Oddish. Do like a bit of Oddish, yeah.
Right. Anyway,
dragons and dinosaurs.
I'm not well versed in many Pokemon. To be quite honest.
I only really know the originals because that was when I was on
Yeah.
the
Because they're the
outside
best.
watching and playing Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah, and they're the best, clearly. One day we'll do a High Rollers Smash or Pass Pokemon stream, but not today.
yes.
Smash.
Yeah,
Tom's
smash,
answer to all of them
smash,
is smash
smash.
all of them.
Make it work and get it, man.
Oregon? Smash.
Smash.
Right. Smash. Okay, we got everyone back. Let's play some more Dungeons and Dragons.
Win.
So, set the scene. The Stormchaser, its new upgrades, its new staff and officers all at their new stations set out. And for a few days at least, you travel unassailed, without incident. Flying through the clear blue skies, you take time to train and to do whatever you need to do. Familiarize yourself with the new systems of this new and improved Magitech airship. Around the end of third day, fourth day, you begin to notice that the air and the clouds seem to be lower and darker, and visibility is growing harder as you draw closer to the Hawksdawn Archipelago. And you can even see flashes of light, red, orange kind of pulses in the distance on the distant horizon, and great plumes of smoke fly up into the air and surround it. The air here is thick with ash, and traveling through it is going to make things a little bit more difficult. This is where I'm going to need Navigator Keelek and Kalar. I would like you to make a survival check for me, please.
Survival check. Man, all these lights and these plumes of smoke, it'd be great if we were in the studio today. We could turn that smoke machine on.
Oh, man, I wish we had a smoke
Survival
machine.
check.
Disclaimer. There is no
21.
smoke machine.
21. So, with the assistance of these new sensors and systems around the airship, Quill, you are able to kind of make sure you stay on course. Without having to sacrifice too much altitude or speed. You manage to make good time as you progress through these kind of like ash clouds that are slowly descending. It doesn't take long before the deck of the Stormchaser, the crew's hair and uniforms are thick with this kind of like grey, slimy sludge of the ash as it kind of settles and condenses. And it very quickly begins to build up on the sails. What do you guys? Is anybody taking any actions as this is all happening, or do you guys want to do anything else as Quill is kind of focused on navigating it? There is definitely, you notice that the crew are not happy about it, and it's definitely kind of beginning to build up on the ship itself and many of like the sails and lines and things like that.
Is it worth activating the environmental shield, or is it kind of too early for that?
Are you asking me or asking your fellow crew?
I'm asking you, Mark, in terms of like just the mechanics of how.
I leave that to you. That's your decision. I mean, the mechanics, like, you know that the environmental shield will probably, it would definitely stop the ash getting onto the sails and the deck and things like that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it will drain the power. It will drain the fuel quicker.
Yeah. Ushos? So.
Nova? What do you suggest?
Yes,
it's getting
Captain.
really ashy up in here. Is there something you could do?
Captain, we can activate the environmental shields. However, this will cause a significant drop in the fuel.
Quartermaster Quill, how far out are we from the port? I can't see a bloody thing.
Captain, we're approximately
Half a day.
away.
Yeah.
And if we were to turn on the shields, Nova Vija, can you make a rough calculation of how far we can get?
Oh,
Calculating.
it would still last plenty of time, but it will just mean that, there may be issues down the road. Like, it's not gonna, like, you're not gonna run out of fuel for running the shields active for a brief period of time, but it will just drain more power as you go.
Do we have like reserve fuel and stuff like that, or?
Not on you. No, you can't carry that much. Like, you have to like find somewhere to dock and refuel and things like that.
Captain, we calculate that if the environmental shields are activated, there will be approximately 30% drop in the fuel.
Sure.
That seems like not very much. Yes, sure, engage the shield.
Well,
Captain, we would like to advise that while it may seem like nothing now, we do not know the mission parameters and how long we will be in this area. Therefore, I would advise caution on our fuel levels, on monitoring our fuel levels. We do not have spare fuel. We do not know where we can obtain spare fuel.
I cautiously advise engage the shield.
All right. So unless you want to
engaged.
try and... Yeah, right. I was going to say, unless you want to try and restrict it. You all feel this kind of pulse in the air, like a kind of like something like an invisible bubble seems to spread out from the middle of the ship, engulf you, pass through you, and then it seems to settle. Just kind of gently encasing the deck of the shield and then sort of scooping around the sails itself, forming a sort of invisible bubble around it. And immediately the ash stops falling on you as individuals, it stops falling on the sails, on the lines, and it sort of begins to just drift off. It's basically burnt up by the shield. You maintain this as you travel, and very quickly the ash cloud still exists, but you begin to see the shapes of other places, and it almost is like you're flying at nighttime. Like the ash is so thick above, the clouds are so dense, it's like, traveling when the sun is covered. And you arrive within sort of half a day, a few hours, 8-9 hours or so. You find Porto Suvrano, this kind of once very bustling port town. The air above it and the ship and the seas of the docks connected to them are ram-packed. They are full of airships and sailing ships. The sea tide seems to be incredibly choppy and ominous and dangerous looking. The waves are actually crashing into like buildings on the sides of the docks and things like that. And you begin to see from the elevated position lines of armed forces desperately trying to organize a chaotic mess of refugees and people trying to evacuate the city. Trying to board ships, trying to board airships, but there are so many, there's certainly not going to be enough places for everybody. The soldiers are trying to kind of keep some semblance of order, and promising that you can't hear them from this distance, but you definitely notice that there is there's some chaos as people are desperately trying to pack up their things and evacuate the port city. The sea does look ominous and dangerous, but with, flying, everybody immediately when they see the Stormchaser, the new improved Stormchaser, like, it draws attention, and people, you can certainly land or get close to wherever you need to.
Excellent.
Nice.
What's the next steps? Do you want to?
Could I go back in time a bit and presume I would have had a sending spell sent out to the people of Porto Suvrano rather than just
request docking permission.
Yeah, well, you can message the Duke. You've only met the Duke. You don't know any other specific individuals that you could contact who are like responsible for the authority. But when you let the Duke know that you are coming, you receive a message back just like, Stormchaser, yes, I will have my people ready at the docks to meet you. Be cautious. The air is thick with ash and the seas are dangerous.
Well, tell me about the shield, the cool shield that we got.
I've only got 25 words. Okay.
Well, you've cast it and sent it, and then he responds back. When you guys do arrive, there is a contingent of pretty well-armed looking mercenaries. They don't look like necessarily soldiers. None of them have a uniform, but they are all very clearly elite warriors with good weapons and armor, and they are surrounding a couple of officials who look very miserable. They're wearing hoods. All of their hoods are covered in black ash and grey sludge from the conditions, but they have basically cleared an area for you, and they're doing that by having soldiers kind of hold people back, but they are basically expecting you and waiting for you when you arrive. The officials, when you get downstairs, a tiefling woman, sort of very curved goat-like horns, thick black hair that's kind of pulled back into a braid. She wears like thin little gold spectacles, and she just kind of peers, and she's like, Stormchaser, and she's like calling out to you, like, the Duke is waiting for you. Please, if you can come and meet with him, he has information for you.
Of course, yes, at once. Let's go, everybody. I'll relay to Aerois for the crew to stay on alert and stay defensive, and to let us.
I think that's a pretty good idea, Captain. I would be careful. These people are quite desperate to get out of here. I mean, I'm assuming you don't want to hurt anybody, but we may need to use a little bit of force to make sure that they don't try and climb up or get onto the ship, if that's okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're going to have to batten down the hatches, so to speak.
All right. Yeah, she'll just say, like, Kamara, can you make sure that gets out to the crew? Yes, I'll make sure of that, first mate and captain. We'll make sure that we're ready. We'll try not to hurt these people. We know that they're suffering, but we definitely can't let them on board.
Also, if you think it prudent that our fuel supply is running low, bring all the crew below deck so they don't get covered in ash and reduce the shield.
Well, we won't be able to bring them down below deck and kind of prevent people. We'll need at least a route. We'll need a rotation to stay on top, and I'll need to stay up here anyway. So, but we can deal with a bit of ash. If it's only you're not going to be here for longer than a few hours, right? We can probably hold position for a while. Well, if you're going to be longer than that, let me know, and then we can figure something out. But we'll try and keep the environmental shield
Ring
off.
Buddies. Yes. Sorry, that was not professional.
Valor and Maximilian will come out and be like, "Do you want us to come with you, or should we stay here? Or is it better if we come with you?"
You two stay here. I think it's best if you're here. Again, ring buddies.
Yes, we can wait. Now that we're within range, looking at this place, it shouldn't be too hard for me to teleport us to you if we need to reach you quickly.
Right.
I can do that a few times, I think, so we should be okay. But yes, we'll wait here, and we'll wait for you to give us an update. Nova, you don't have to remain in the engineering. The crew can also just run basic functions. It just takes them longer, and they're not as quick and efficient at doing it. But you can safely disembark the pod and make your way with them as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll do that.
You got to let go of that power, Nova.
What? No. I wish you guys had seen Star Trek, because I could totally tell you where this is going to go, and it begins with Reginald Barclay and ends with a banger of an episode. Okay. Justice for Reg. But yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just wait until I find the life support systems. It'll be good.
Is that the bit
where fucking nerd.
Is that the bit where they launch Data out of the garbage chute?
That bit's awesome, and he flies to the other ship. That bit's great. I love that bit. I like the bit where Worf shoots the Borg ship and he goes, "Assimilate this."
Yeah, no, not the ship, not the ship.
He's actually on the deflector shield of the Enterprise and the satellite, and he shoots a
It's
board.
a communications array, I think.
Yes, and he goes, "Assimilate this," and then it blows up.
It blows up.
We get Lucius a Piccolo.
Anyway,
that's Titanic.
Yes, so the environmental shield is disabled for a brief period of time. The Wolfpack will set a guard watch, and you guys make your way down where, you do see this military group and this official, and they quickly lead you back up into the city. And it's weird, having been here before when it was lively and bustling, now the streets are basically empty. Everything is covered in this kind of fine grey ash sludge. It's dark. It's like you're walking around at night or an incredibly overcast day. And it has this very ominous presence as you're walking around. The attendant will kind of hand you each parasols, basically. They pop those up, and they're using those to kind of keep the ash off themselves as best they can. And you are led
You should get
up
some of them.
Just it's something simple just to keep the ash off for now, but unfortunately they won't last too much longer. But yes, and she leads you up to sort of an estate building at the very top of the city. It's kind of all built upon a hill into the sort of side of a mountain, and it leads you up into the very top section where you find a very elaborate, luxurious looking estate. Really no sign of guards or anybody around. It looks like most of the city has either already been evacuated or people are trying to leave it. You do see a few people, a few holdouts who look like they're trying to build barricades and sandbags and things like that to try and just defend their property and their homes from whatever is about to happen.
Now, team, which one of us is going to speak with the Duke?
I can really take the lead here.
Okay.
I think I would be
Who
very
else?
strong with it.
Sentry?
I can? I suppose. Yeah?
Okay, let's do a vote. All those in favor of Ayla, say aye. All those in favor of Sentry, say aye. Aye!
Aye.
All right. You are led through to what appears to be a sort of map, almost like a kind of a gentleman's kind of study. You can see that there are framed maps on the walls, luxurious looking armchairs, a fireplace, various mounted weapons and things on the wall, paintings of the Duke Suvrano himself. Looking like one of them, he's got a big open shirt with chest hair, and he's got a maiden and a young man on each arm, and he's looking very handsome, and it's obviously a very aggrandized self-portrait or portrait of him. But all these kind of little symbols of luxury and things like that. But when you see him, he definitely looks a lot more haggard. He looks tired. He doesn't look like he's been sleeping for a long time. His hair is slightly unkempt, although he has tried to present a sort of more composed, well-to-do individual. And he's, Stormchasers, I'm so glad that you could come as quickly as you have. As you can see, things are not looking particularly good here in the archipelago. What help can you bring? What aid? Do you know anything of what is happening, or is there anything I can help you with? What do I owe the pleasure?
Duke Suvrano, We need to get to Solwynn, or where Solwynn used to be.
The
As soon
ruined
as
city. I mean, that is a very challenging ask, Central Prime. Solwynn, the great city, the capital of Solwynn, Suncrown was the name of the great city, as I'm sure you know. And it was a city unlike anything that we have here now today. It was immense in size. Imagine 6 times the size of Gusthaven or Horizon or any of the great sky cities. It was almost a nation of a city itself. It was very expensive. And then when Artilicus caused the Sundering, much of it was lost beneath the waves. We have found many treasures. We have found pockets of it. We have found areas that contain towers or broken buildings of Solwynn, of the old Suncrown city. But much of it is now held by the Tritons, which we have had tumultuous relationships with. They occupy one of their cities, Silver Reef, occupies one of the largest sort of remaining ruins of Solwynn. I can certainly point you in the direction of that, and I believe that Miss Coral Song, who is around somewhere, can likely help you with that as well. I can point you in the direction of other ruins of Solwynn that still exist today. Some of them are even above sea level. They are not all beneath the waves. But pretty much anywhere that we have seen them, we have had reports of these crystalline dwarven women. And when my forces have attempted to speak with them or to use to try and capture them or to ask them questions, it has had mixed results. They do not seem to respond to the people that I send. They speak in strange patterns and languages, claiming that that the people trying to speak to them are unrecognized individuals, simply telling us that that their work must not be interrupted. And then, if we try and capture them, they use non-lethal force, magic, to send my forces running or packing. But trying to locate Solwynn, that is a question that has puzzled many treasure seekers and divers for generations and historians. We unfortunately do not know exactly where the heart of the city still is. It may even be buried deep beneath the earth at this point.
Okay, sounds like Silver Reef might be a good place to start, however.
Certainly would be. I can certainly have Miss Corosong try and aid you to send you there. If you want to speak or investigate these dwarven individuals, I can point you to some who are nearby. There is a section of ruins on an island not far from here, just a small island really, just a few ruins, tips of some towers perhaps.
Forgive me, I've never heard of gem-like dwarves before. Is that...
Neither have we. They are made entirely of ruby and emerald and sapphire. They do not... I would call them golems, but they are so detailed. They move like they are people, but I've never seen anything like it before in my life.
How extraordinary.
Yes, I would love to admire them, but right now, if they are the ones causing these problems, or even if they are not, they do not certainly seem to be helping.
And they manifested around the same time, would you say?
Almost certainly, yes. I would bet a lifetimes of fortune that they are connected in some way.
Right. Sorry, please carry on.
No, unfortunately, that is really all I have to provide to you. I do not have much more information than that. We are currently trying to evacuate as many people as we can. Volcanos has become particularly active, but several smaller volcanoes have also erupted in the island chain. There are underwater currents that have made sea travel exceptionally difficult. Only the bravest orc captains, under, I must say, vast payments from myself, have braved the journey to try and transport people away. And there is talk of underwater geysers. There is seismic activity, earthquakes that have caused numerous damage to other locations. Luckily, Porto Suvrano is well built. Many of our buildings here have been able to weather the earthquakes, but unfortunately, some other sort of remote locations have not been so lucky.
Do you have enough forces on hand to help? We could maybe try and find a way to give you more assistance.
The honest answer is no. We do not. I have mercenaries. I have a small militia that would run the city. It's taking every able-bodied warrior and soldier that I have to keep the crowds from running riot, from panicking and causing even more problems. If there were more, what we need is airships. We need airships to come and transport people out of all of this. But trying to convince people to send them into what is basically a very dangerous environment has been the stretch of my diplomacy.
Is there a way we can gather more airships? Does Horizon Gusthaven have any airships to spare?
I'm sure we could negotiate, Sentry, but like the Duke says, if we were to clear this ash, it would be a lot easier for airships to come in and make that decision to come help.
And if you can find a way to stop whatever is happening, whatever is causing these imbalances, that would ultimately save many lives. But I do not know if that is even possible. I don't know if what has been done is now irreversible. I don't know.
Well, that's why we're here, to hopefully end this.
Indeed, that is what I hoped you would say. But if I can offer you any more information, I gladly will. But I'm afraid I can't think of anything pertinent to tell you beyond what I have.
All right, we'll have to do some investigation ourselves. Thank you.
If you want to know the location of those ruins where we spotted
Please.
some dwarves above sea level...
Quill, do you have a map on you that you can mark?
Yeah, he's got like a map on the table. He just circles like an island and he shows it to Quill. Quill, you're like, yep, I can figure out how to get there easily enough. Mm-hmm. He does say if you have a means to travel beneath the waves, the Baroness could lead you to Silver Reef, the Triton city. And I know that the King Gale, will certainly be welcome for the aid as much as I am. We're trying to help each other as much as we can, but there's a lot of animosity between our people and a lot of mistrust. We're doing what we can to try and make it work, but it is difficult, unfortunately. But I know that they have the same problems we have. Getting in and out of Silver Reef, the Baroness can tell you more, but getting in and out of Silver Reef, to my understanding, is quite difficult right now. Many of these problems that we are facing above land, the Tritons are facing beneath the waves. And it seems to be almost creating a barrier that is preventing access in and out of Silver Reef.
Do what we can to help.
Of course.
So we need to find the Baroness. Is she around?
I will send for her. She's around here somewhere. She's been helping me coordinate. We're trying to coordinate efforts to support both the Tritons and my people, and work what we can. They have a good knowledge of the seas. They're working with the ship captains, the few orc fleets that I've managed to pay into service, trying to work with them to navigate some of these changing currents that seem to change on a whim. But yes, I can send for her and have her brought here. Yes.
Thank you.
So the first stop then is to find these small islands with the gem dwarves. If you'd like, I could try and find out what I can about these, whatever they are.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Makes sense.
Let's see if they're brand new, I suppose. In that case, I would like to do legend lore on... I mean, it's a person, place, or object. But, I mean, can I do it on, like...
You would need more specifics.
Okay.
Like,
Maybe you could
name or describe a person, place, or object. Name or describe. Like...
You could probably do it when we
so I can't
find
use
them.
it on like, a
find them,
race
yeah.
of people or something. Okay.
Nope.
Use the eye.
Well, again, I think that the problem here is you've not seen them. You're going by secondhand knowledge. If you see them, it would be easier for you to describe whether they're people or an object. You're not sure. But secondhand knowledge isn't really going to be enough for legend lore, I don't think. You're gonna need a bit more intel.
I was kind of hoping I could almost name events. I think I've got it locked in as the storybook sort of approach that you've got with the book. And I was basically just going to ask it for a story, and it was going to be like the origins of the gem dwarves or whatever like that. But
I mean, you could try casting the spell and say like the gem dwarves and see if that gets a result. It will be a use of the spell, and it might not work. So
Yeah, we should.
We could
just
just go
take it
see
again.
them, and
Yeah,
then
we'll
use
go
it.
see them and then do it.
I mean, if they're not reacting to people /guardians ? Then we'll just go see them, and walk right up to them and just give them a look in the eye and just say, "Hey,
Sure.
What's your
going on?
story, bro?
tell me everything.
What's your story?
I want to get all inside you."
After a brief period of time, Baroness Erin Coralsong, a Triton, young Triton woman with pink hair, blue skin, dressed sort of in a ramshackle of sort of shipwreckage, cloth and a strange plant-like material, arrives, and she's like, Stormchasers. Thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry, we've been trying to arrange things with the Duke here. If there's any help I can be, please let me know.
We need to get to Silver Reef.
Yes, Silver Reef is it's our largest city of the Triton in this particular area, and it's sort of a capital, I suppose, of our people. It's ruled over by King Gale Mawbreaker. Getting there could be tricky. It's one of the problems we've been having. There's a series of... To reach the city is already quite difficult. It's deep within a valley beneath the waves that are prone to many natural fauna and flora. But also there have been these steam vents, changes in currents. There's also been a much greater increase in underwater creatures. They seem to have been driven into a sort of frenzy by these changes. They're panicking, they're frightened, and attacking anything that comes close. But certainly I could try and lead you there if you wanted to go. But
yes, please.
It's almost like there's a barrier around the city of these phenomena. Whichever way we try and approach, there is some sort of problem.
Yeah, we heard the currents are random. Is there any sign that you know which way they're going to go?
We think we've determined a way that we can at least begin to feel when they're about to change and in what direction, but it's an inaccurate science as it is. It's pretty much... I can work with yourself and Keelek to maybe try and help navigate them if we get under the water, but it's difficult. Certainly difficult.
Mm-hmm. And how would we avoid the steam vents and, well, the hordes of creatures that are under the sea now?
Well, I don't know what means you have. I mean, if you have magic to breathe underwater and swim, fighting our way through and trying our best to, in the same way that you would navigate a treacherous forest or treacherous hill, we would mountainscape, we could try and navigate that way with my own knowledge. If you have other means that may make it easier, I don't really know.
Well, Captain Lucius, do we intend to take the Stormchaser?
Underwater, I suppose we could, but I worry about the currents and damaging the ship and all its crew. Whereas we could go in as a tight unit and investigate at least. With some guidance.
We could do. It's just dependent on how strong the current is. Can we just resist the pull of the current with the Stormchaser itself?
Unfortunately, nobody's going to have that answer until you try. Because the Erin doesn't know the strength of the ship. She can't make a judgment. Like, she can't say, like, it's going to do 20 d10 points of damage. She doesn't know what that is. Like, and vice versa, you don't know how strong these currents are. So, like, you can't really gauge it, like, what that's going to be.
If we can't swim in it, it's going to do that to us. So...
But yeah, if the Stormchaser can't swim in it, we can't swim in it.
If that can't swim in it, we probably can't swim in it.
Yeah.
Or we can. It's more just drowning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll take the Stormchaser as far as we can. Just be prepared to brace for any currents, I guess.
I don't know.
I wonder if... I just wonder if we may be able to use the Stormchaser to figure out the currents. Like, if we could maybe do some experiments with tracking color or lights or something into the currents and figuring that out.
The problem is that they're so they change so rapidly. Even if you learn which way direction or which pattern that one is moving in, it can change in a heartbeat. This is one of the problems we found. The best way that we found is we normally have a pathfinder, a triton who swims ahead of the pack, and they just warn us when they feel it's changing, and then we divert and we have to improvise. That's the best method we've found so far, but it means that we're extremely limited in getting in and out of Silver Reef. Bringing forces inside. I do know that there are these gemstone dwarves that I'm sure the Duke has told you about. There are several of them in the city. The last I'd heard from the king, they were plundering or repairing ruins of Solwynn. We don't really know what they're doing. We've found the same thing. If we try and approach them, they simply state that their work must not be interrupted, that they will endeavor to keep loss of life to a minimum, and for us to move to a safer location. And that's it. They just repeat those messages. When we try and stop them, they use non-lethal force, use magic to get us to leave them alone. We just don't know anything about them.
Well, we intend to investigate the dwarves. Have you seen them react in any way to guardians?
We don't have any guardians, really, that we've been able to have them sort of speak to or investigate. I can't say.
Okay. It's worth seeing how they might react to you, Sentry, being a native of Solwynn. Let's see how that goes.
It's worth a try.
All right. Okay. Well, the Duke will wish you best of luck, and you guys can make your way back to the Stormchaser. It's not even been an hour, and yeah, you can decide where you want to go. Erin will come with you because if you intend to go to Silver Reef, she'll basically say, if I can travel with you, I'll go with you and try and aid you as best as I can. There's not much more she can really do here on the surface, so she's quite happy to just head back and try and deal with things where she's more comfortable. But yeah.
Makes sense.
Cool. So what's the plan?
Do all of us.
Do you want to try and find these surface ruins first, or do you want to go straight to the Triton City, or do you want to do anything else? Like, do you have any other wacky plans that you want to throw my way?
No, I'm happy with either of those. What would you like to do first, crew?
I think getting some recon on the gemstone dwarves is a good idea.
Yes, I agree. Before we batter our ship with underwater currents. All right, I'll tell the crew and prepare us to head in certain direction. Quill, can you help with directions here?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't need to roleplay through all of that. You guys can get the ship prepped.
I'd like to.
Off. Well, too bad.
Well, okay, we're going about northeast, I'd say, Captain Lucius. So I'll plot the course in with all the rest of the crew. It's about southeast, actually. I had my map upside down. I never do this.
Carry on.
You had some ash in your mouth? Just spit it out.
It's not far. It's only a couple of hours flight. With the Stormchaser being, a fully upgraded airship, you can traverse the winds and the currents.
Well, I guess that's the next 2 hours of the episode then.
Nope. You find a small island that really appears to just be a few sort of rocky outcroppings and a vague shape of like maybe the top of a tower, but it's very worn, broken, eroded by wind and rain. Really just kind of very pale white stone that has still this vague kind of oval shape that as you get closer you can see. As the Stormchaser, as the airship begins to lower and gets closer and Quill on your sort of crystalline screens, you can see working, seemingly just holding their hands against the earth and stone and just watching as like tunnels and troughs begin to appear, like they just sculpt the land with their hands. You see about 3 entirely made from crystal, one a very emerald green, one a deep dark red, and the other a sort of yellowy topaz, are all examining, searching these ruins. You can already see like almost like a dig site. They have dug out a huge section of this tower, and it looks like they are in the process of recovering what appears to be some sort of, maybe, I guess to you guys it would almost look like an arcane cannon, like you would have on the deck of an airship. Like it looks like an old piece of Solwynn magical artillery. It's completely busted, like a large shape, but they're removing pieces of it and they're like looking at them and examining them and things like that. They seem to not give one hoot about the descending airship as it like kicks all the water of the
Do you reckon
sea
they've
around
noticed?
If they have noticed, they don't seem to, as my mother would say, give a single hoot.
I like it. I like
How
that.
is your mother, by the way? Have you written to her recently?
Yes, I have.
He does it
Have
all
you
the time, doesn't he?
All the time.
I noticed you didn't invite her to the big meal. You didn't invite her to the big meal.
No,
My parents.
she wasn't around. She was back at the Messengers
Yeah.
Guild sorting that.
Wasn't
He's
it?
busy.
Wasn't it Mother's Day recently as well? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's an
Just in
erosion
her heart.
Mother's Day?
Crew, come on, let's get it together. Crystal
Yeah,
dwarves.
it's a different day to Forgotten Realms Mother Day, which is really confusing. People get really confused. when I mention it. But yeah, okay. So you can totally disembark, get on the island. These gem dwarf women don't react. Like
Not even to
you're currently at a distance. Like you haven't approached them yet. You're still on the deck of the ship, but they haven't reacted to the airship landing. They don't seem to care.
Now, I am just working on a theory here with the whole Sentry Gem Dwarves interaction. However, I think it's worth just us four going down to have a look at them. I'll try and find out what I can with the book, and then maybe we try out Sentry interacting with them.
Which four?
Us four. Me, Ayla, Lucius, Nova.
5. Tiangong is
not
here
take-
too.
Oh, sorry, Tiangong. Sorry, I'm so used to you being a sword, to be honest.
We are
Um,
eternal.
Eternal now. Okay. Well,
Eternal.
5 of us. And
Correct.
Sentry. We can. I'll message you when you're good to come down. If that's okay. I mean, it's just a theory.
Yeah, just use your messenger ring like I. Hello, Sentry.
Don't have my messenger ring. Just as a reminder, I don't have. Most of us don't.
What?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
we-
thought we
we're
were
not using it.
putting them back on.
Sentry, we told you. I said that we were. How many times have you tried to contact me?
Like, constantly.
We've both been
Oh,
trying to speak to you this
yeah.
whole time.
What, like as often as I message my mother constantly,
Oh.
or like constantly?
Well, I've been in the kitchen with Howard, and I'm asking if you want a drink, if you want any
All
a
the
snack
time.
or
There's
anything.
so
to eat.
much ash.
All the time,
Oh.
and I've not heard a word.
Hey, let's keep this morale up. Let's not focus on the fact that you're very parched and need some drinks. We'll
Morale
figure
so
that out.
high.
We'll go approach these gem dwarfs and report back, Sentry. I'll report back with my messenger ring that I'm wearing, that
So
I'm
if I
bothering to wear.
understand it, you're going to leave Sentry on the ship, and then the rest of you are going to go approach these dwarves on your own before Sentry joins you.
Yeah, I'll just find out what I can, and then when we send a message, we like, cool. Sentry,
Are you legend
come on
loring?
down.
I feel like we
I'm gonna
could
be
just take
legend loring.
Sentry though, because we know that they don't bother people in general. So why don't we just take Sentry
Yeah,
at the
but-
first instance?
Just to examine as best we can before they go all
Is Sentry going to
Guardian
stop that?
detected.
We are
Ah,
testing a
I
hypothesis.
see. That's okay. I understand.
Yeah, they're not
I
reacting
understand
to
your concern.
people. They might react to Guardian,
Guardians.
prime Guardian of all.
Solwynn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just going to go over there and just, hey, legend lore, tell me everything about you.
Okay.
Be careful.
All right. Well, all of you bar sentry make your way down onto this short island. The tide being very strong, like you already feel there's no wind, but the waves are like crashing up onto the side of this island, and you very rapidly sort of make your way to the center towards this ruined tower. When you arrive, you get a closer look at the detail of these dwarven sort of gemstone people. They're all women. They all have almost an identical looking face, but they all have different hairstyles and dresses, but their faces are all identical. They are just a very almost like default, like kind of round cheeked, chubby featured, sort of like slightly flat but kind of a rounded nose. Pretty dwarven women, right? But their hair is like, some of them have like kind of almost like kind of braided sort of like locks. Some of them have like more like dreads. Some of them have like shaved sides and it pulled down. And there is the three types. There is one which is made out of what you would assume is emerald, one which appears to be made out of ruby, and one which appears to be made out of topaz. And they are incredibly detailed. Like these are the most detailed statues And the way they move is completely organically, as if they were living humanoid creatures. But you don't see veins or anything else in their bodies. They are literally like gemstones brought to life as they move around. How close do you want to like get to these guys before you start casting spells or trying to speak to them and stuff?
I mean,
I'm being cautious because I know Quill is planning on doing some sort of scouting, so Lucius is kind of ducking behind rocks and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the reports, they are non-violent and don't react to people. I'm being like cautious walking up, almost like walking up to a cat, you know?
Okay. Yeah. But you intend to get like pretty close, like within speaking distance.
Not in their way at any point.
No.
Like if they're walking in a direction, I'm not going to stand in front of them like.
No, but you'll walk like near them and like walk beside them or something like that if they're moving off.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Ayla and Nova and Tiango?
I think we would keep pace with Quill. And just
Okay.
kind of,
Yeah.
All right. So most of you are moving up, and then Lucius is like hiding behind a rock, and then he's like moving over to like a tree, and he's like he's trying to be more stealthy and
I'm
hiding
doing that.
and stuff. Okay. When Quill, Ayla, and Nova / Nova Tiangong all approach, one of them, the ruby dwarf woman, who is the closest one as you approach, stops dead and turns and looks at you, and you hear this very monotonous voice call out, life forms identified as Hesper, Sayana, Siaska, champions, contacting D1, establishing cognitive transfer. And then they go dead still, and they don't move.
Wait, what does that mean, Nova?
What did she?
Back up.
She said, Hesper, I believe we are being contacted by an authoritative figure, D1.
Yeah, said contacting D1, establishing cognitive transfer. As you're all looking at each other, Lucius, you see your friends kind of freeze and like look, and you see the other two, the Emerald and the Topaz dwarf. They are still going about their work. They're just dismantling this cannon. They're pulling out gemstones from it that look like burnt out, like something kind of. There was like a fire inside the gemstones and it scorched all the middle. They're pulling those out, and then they're pulling out like metal and crystalline components, examining them, and then they just put them to their bodies, and the components go inside them. They like, and then they take their hands off, and then they begin examining another thing. They look at it, and then sometimes they throw them away. Sometimes they like put them next to their bodies and suck them, absorb them into them.
Is anyone carrying anything from Solwynn specifically that you remember? Maybe something we might have bought, or...
And I think we've been identified as, the group of us being the group of us and, doing things. I think they're onto us. I don't think it would matter if we had Sentry.
Sentry, you are watching your friends from the side of the ship, and they just seem to have stopped. Lucius is hiding behind a rock.
Sentry mission report. It appears as if the gem statues have frozen still, and one of them has mentioned something about... I can't quite hear from behind this rock, but they seem to be engaging some sort of conversation.
Okay, as long as it's just conversation, I'm keeping a close eye. And like Sentry is like on the deck of the ship, like as close to the edge as she can.
You're by the human launcher, aren't you?
Just like leaning over the edge, just like, let me know if anything changes.
Roger that.
Okay. As you're having this discussion, very abruptly, the ruby dwarf woman, her eyes open, and her expression goes from this very stoic, almost robotic, monotonous thing to a big, bright smile. And she just seems to come alive. Champions! I am so mightily happy to see you. The Forge Mistress was hoping you'd come a-calling. Please stand by as I travel to your current location. And then the eyes close again. And then the Ruby Dwarf, the monotonous face returns. And the Ruby Dwarf turns and goes back to doing what they were doing previously. They begin pulling out components, examining them with the other
who's coming to meet us? Guys?
Quill, I really suggest you do legend lore real quick before whoever is coming is coming.
Okay.
The god coming to us? Is the god coming to us? Oh god, is it happening?
She didn't say Velena. She said the Ford Mistress is looking forward to seeing you. I am sending someone your way. So I think they're sending like an avatar, a representative, or something like that.
What are you doing, Quill?
I'm legend loring. So if I name a person, like, can I legend lore the thing right in front of me, or?
Well, what? Yeah, what'd you say? Name or describe a person, place, or object. So what do you do?
D1.
Sure. Yeah. Say D1. The book flies open. The pages flip rapidly, and then it stops. And a painted in the style of dwarven art, so very blocky, geometrical shaped kind of artwork. It says "The Maidens of Velena," and it tells the story of the great goddess Velena, as it is presented in your book, the Forge Mistress, and when she was building the world and building homes for the people of Aerois, and creating places for them to learn and to live, and like basically this is almost like a part of the creation story of Aerois. She found that she could not complete all of the great works that she needed, that was required. That the earth, that she could not mine all the ore, she could not gather all the stone, that she could not sculpt the land as quickly as she wanted. And so she took, I think it would probably be something along the lines of like 6 or 7 of the greatest, most beautiful jewels in the earth that she could find. And from each one, she sculpted a dwarven woman in her image, and she breathed into these dwarven women a series of instructions. She did not breathe into them life, because Velena did not have the strength to give them all sentience and life itself, but what she could do is give them complex series of instructions that would allow them to fulfill dedicated purposes. And each one, there was a diamond, there was an emerald, there was a ruby, there was a topaz, there was a sapphire, and some other gemstones that I can't remember. But she created one of each. And from each of these ones spawned more of them. They created more of themselves from other gemstones that they found. And they created a force of workers that was there to do Velena's bidding and to aid her in her tasks across Aerois. And these are known as the Maidens of Velena, and they sometimes would appear to the faithful of Velena, those who worshipped her powerful priests and priestesses. They could sometimes call upon the aid of these maidens to help them in great tasks, in building and mining and gathering of resources and that sort of thing.
So they have always existed then?
Yes.
And did the story say that the different gemstones had different tasks, or that they all just had?
You certainly got the impression that they all had different things that they could do. They were kind of all like specialists in different things, but they could all do the same jobs as each other. But there's ones which they have like a focus on, right?
It's not like there's Ruby is military and Emerald is
not that you could tell.
Whatever.
No, not that you could tell. The book also doesn't go into the detail of what each of those are. You just get the impression that they definitely all had different functions, as it were. Some were better at mining, some were better at building, some were better at coordinating with the priests and priestesses, that sort of thing.
Could be that at the end of her life, she's now trying to complete those unfinished works.
Well, on that thought, Velena's saying is better the self and add more to the world than you take away. So I think you're right, Quill. They're definitely building something. Are they maybe rebuilding Solwynn? What are they building?
I've got no idea. I mean, we're about to find out.
Well, your Solwynn expert is currently on the ship because you didn't want her to come down.
We need to bring Sentry down.
Sentry, mission update. It seems as if they're engaging some sort of discussion with them. I've moved back a rock because I think things are getting tense, so I really don't understand what they're saying.
Lucius!
Yeah, hold on, Sentry, hold on. Mission report paused.
Bring Sentry down!
Okay.
What's that?
Bring Sentry down!
This is why you need a messenger ring.
Lucius,
You see?
I'm going to cast message. Lucius, we need to bring Sentry down here right away.
Oh, excellent. He put his ring on. Sentry, come on down. You've been summoned.
Okay, I'm coming.
Like,
I'll
yeah,
start making
sure.
my way down.
You make your way down. As Sentry arrives, a few moments, like maybe sort of 10 minutes pass. The Gemstone Dwarves, they're just going about their work. Sentry, I don't know how you would feel about seeing them, but they are basically like digging out this tower, recovering Solwynn artifacts, especially like anything to do with weapons or like equipment, and they're breaking it down, and then they seem to just absorb parts into their body.
Oh. Yes, that would make her feel a bit sad, I think.
Just like watching them basically like dismantling something and then taking it, right?
Yeah.
But after about 10 minutes, you all begin to feel the ground trembling like an earthquake. You hear like... What do you guys do?
Dive behind a rock.
Stand back! Make space! Duck and cover! Dig a hole!
Start flying? Fly up a bit?
So, Quill flies up. What about Nova and Ayla? Ayla's not bothered.
Step back from where the dwarves are a little bit, but like...
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Nova?
I'll just stand slightly behind Ayla.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you clear this space. You watch as the earth churns, like something's disturbing it. And then almost like she just pops up from the earth, you see this brilliant diamond gemstone dwarven woman just sort of like pops out of it, like she just grows out of the earth itself, out of this disturbed earth. And then as she stands, she opens her eyes, and that same beaming, friendly smile that you saw on the other dwarf kind of springs into existence on her diamond features. Well, howdy there, champions. My name is Diamond One, also known as D1, and it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance. And then she bows deeply.
Hello? We are...
Greetings!
The Stormchasers. It seems like you were able to identify us pretty accurately. Well, from that one over there.
Your visual representation has been implanted into our memory banks and allows us for identification upon the Forge Mistress's notifications.
Mildly terrifying.
Okay.
Please,
now,
do not be alarmed. I do not mean any physical harm or mental damage to any of you. I am here to beseech your aid.
Now that's what I was going to ask. Why are you communicating with us specifically when, we've heard reports you don't seem to want to communicate with anyone else?
Unfortunately, the task of the Maidens of Valena has progressed to a very large and expansive project, and as such, only a few limited number of identifications could be specified. You are lucky that the Forge Mistress implanted visual representations of all of you, allowing us to identify you if you were to approach.
It's an honor, I guess.
What is your mission parameters?
Currently, we are working to excavate, repair, and manufacture a number of subsystems based in and around the ruins of the previously known domain as Solwynn, or the city of Suncrown. We are currently working to complete one of two major projects that our mistress seeks to complete before the inevitable failure of the planet.
Inevitable, okay.
And what are you building?
I'm afraid that information is currently classified, and I am unable to share it, but the Forge Mistress would be willing to discuss it with you.
Yes.
Where is she?
She is currently based in one of her final forges deep beneath the earth, close to one of the geothermic engines of the World Engine.
And I suppose that's where the project is being constructed as well?
She is constructing one of the projects in her secret demiplane. However, the other project is being worked upon deep beneath the earth.
Is that what's causing this? The volcanoes, the ash.
Unfortunately, there are a number of environmental disasters that have been caused due to complications in one of the major projects. Unfortunately, we are deeply regretful for this small loss of life. However, the Forge Mistress is certain that it is absolutely necessary, and if we could avoid it, we would. A number of contingency plans were meant to be put into place. However, the Maidens of Valena have encountered difficulties in establishing these contingencies and I'm trying to think of the wording.
Maybe it would be more
and
prudent
dampness.
to inform this Forge Mistress of not just the small loss of life that is projected from this catastrophe. We're looking at a scale of, I mean, the Hawkstorn Archipelago could be gone in a very short time.
In the grand scheme of the entire world, and the entire planet, my Forge Mistress has deemed that is an acceptable loss, even if these contingencies cannot be completed. Her work is of the utmost importance to Aerois' survival.
Is this work offensive, defensive, or restorative in nature?
I'm afraid I cannot share any details on either of the projects at this time.
And the only way to communicate with your Forge Mistress is to visit her directly? There's no remote communication we can have with her?
Unfortunately not, now that she is currently in her demiplane.
Can we urgently ask that you pause operations until we've had a discussion with her?
I'm afraid that pausing the operations is not in our mission parameters. We cannot be allowed to interrupt this important work. However, if you do wish to try and reduce these effects, there are two missions that we were entrusted with that unfortunately we have encountered difficulties, and as such, these complications of environmental dangers have progressed to much more dangerous levels. But if you wish to help, we would greatly appreciate it.
And if we were to succeed in these areas, how much would that diminish the ash and the volcanoes and the
We
eruptions?
estimate that it would diminish these the impact on the environmental conditions would be reduced by 75%.
It's quite considerable. It's a place to start.
Could we ask not about the projects that are currently being worked on, but on previous projects?
My memory banks are limited on previous projects, but I can do my best to answer as much as I can.
Is Valena
It is my
planning
duty to
leave?
be a liaison. What was that? Sorry, Sentry?
Is Valena planning to leave?
No, goodness me, no. By the Forge Mistress, not at all. She is working on two contingencies that she feels are important to the survival of Aerois. She would never abandon her children in this hour of need.
But she'll kill them to get what she wants.
To save the vast majority, it has been decided that a small loss of life is an acceptable loss.
I don't understand. Valena brings she brings a life. She creates. Why would she destroy? Why would she kill people?
I
Prevent a
fear
greater loss.
that-
She just repeats the same message.
Yeah, I fear that she's gone to a point where that loss of life is just a small resource required to build this, whatever this final project is, at least in her eyes. But maybe if we can figure out her previous projects, we can maybe figure out what the current one is. So, I mean, when was the last time all of these were activated, and for what purpose?
I fucking hate you, Tom Hazel.
I know.
The short
doesn't need
answer
this
there is that D1 begins listing a number of things that you've never heard of. Like, she just begins listing a number of projects that it's like terraforming protective mission 09. Like, she just lists a bunch of things that really don't mean anything. It sounds the best. I would say that maybe between you and Nova, you can get the idea that Valena has been basically operating. She's been doing things like maintenance on the world engine to make sure the world engine doesn't cause problems. She built warships and defenses for the war against Callus 500 years ago. She helped basically stop the Sundering being worse than it was. She erected underground systems to keep tectonic plates together. I don't know, stuff like that.
So basically, the general gist is that we've never seen the gem dwarves.
No,
but
they've been working for since the creation of Aerois to keep the planet
just the
operating, basically.
protection of the planet and just ensuring bigger
Yeah.
catastrophes don't occur, I suppose.
Yeah, I
It's
imagine
a
there's a lot
general
of
survival.
environmental disasters that come after the sundering that she's trying to
Yes.
patch up.
Yeah, it's basically she was keeping like the sundering from being even worse than what it was. Another thing, as it goes further back, one thing that Sentry would probably pick on, there are a number of projects that D1 lists that are things like completion of Suncrown City, completion of Suncrown defensive systems. Most of Solwynn, it seems that Velena and Queen Astoria of Solwynn worked very closely together to develop the technological and magical advantages that Solwynn had. There is no implication that the Guardians were like involved in Velena's projects. That seems to be something purely for Root and Queen Astoria, but Velena was a big part of creating Solwynn. Like, it seems that like she had a very expansive hand in designing some of the, infrastructure systems. Like Solwynn had things like plumbing and heating long before anywhere else did. It was much more sort of technologically advanced than a lot of other places. And it seemed that Velena was directly inspirational for in that.
You can stop listing all of these. Sorry, I didn't realize there were so many. I thought it'd be bigger, grander projects of few and far between, but I think we get the idea. Sentry, it's protective. I guess this final project will be similar in nature.
2 final projects. D1 correct.
2 final projects, sorry. Well, whatever the project inside her demiplane is may not necessarily be so defensive, or perhaps it is, but...
Did you say one of the projects was taking place in the forge closest to the world engine?
No, she just said that Velena's demiplane is located close to that, so it's a demiplane. But there is one of the projects is taking place underground.
I ponder if one of these projects is rooted in the defense of the world engine. Callus wants the world engine, so Velena is a creator, not a destroyer. It strikes me that she would want to protect the world engine.
Yes, I don't know if she would hold sentimental value for things like creating Solwynn if she was a big part of it, but to begin dismantling the ruins of Solwynn for this other cause must be very, very important indeed, if it were sentimental.
Some interesting wording from D1 there, though, of the inevitable demise of the planet, I suppose, suggesting the world engine being removed from Aerois.
But it would be intact. It would be able to create Aerois again, perhaps.
Well, this is all assumption, isn't it? All we need to do is figure out how to stop this ash and these volcanoes from killing people. And if we can reduce it by 75%, I believe that wasn't it, D1?
It is. My calculations expect that if 2 of our wayward projects were to be able to complete it, we have tried to limit these environmental disasters as much as possible. However, the sheer scope of the work involved and the current state of the world engine does cause some of these incidents. There were 2 projects that we were currently working on. There is a stabilizer that should help Volcanos, the largest volcano here in the Hawkstaln Archipelago, from erupting. However, the crystal device needs to be delivered deep inside the magma chamber at the heart of the volcano. None of the maidens' bodies are able to reach such depths and intense heat and pressure. The other involves a seismic activity dampener that has been lost in a deep section of ocean called the Feldraven Traverse. All maidens nearby have been lost in contact, and any that we have sent to retrieve the device have also been lost.
Oh, right.
Okay. Well, for starters, we can't go into a volcano either.
I almost died last time we went into one.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good time for anyone, really. It was just...
No.
Wouldn't recommend...
If you do not feel that you are able to enter the magma chamber, unfortunately there is very little we can be done. Even our bodies cannot sustain the intense heat and pressure. It was hoped that the Forge Mistress hoped that perhaps your abilities and your allies would be able to find a way to traverse deep inside the magma chamber.
Did we drain the volcano somehow?
If we did, it probably would create even more environmental disasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure where it all comes from. You know.
Deep in the Earth's core.
Well, there is no Earth's core. There's the world engine.
Deep in the Earth's world engine.
Nova would probably surmise that things like lava and stuff like that is probably, generated by the world engine. Like, it's probably being generated by it. And maybe it's just creating too much.
Magic.
That reminds me, actually. Sorry to go back a little bit. What do you mean the current state of the world engine? Is it damaged?
The world engine, as Velena currently works on her projects, the world engine is outputting tremendous levels of heat. As such, this is resulting in the creation process is affecting various elements of seismic activity. There is no damage currently to the world engine. Again, sometimes Mark says things and they don't always mean what
that's
maybe
fine.
they come across.
Well,
basically,
I'm going to latch onto it.
That's fine. That's fine. But I don't want to panic you guys by saying that. But yeah, like literally, it's if you want to stop these volcanoes erupting, you got to go inside that volcano, or you got to go find this other thing that will help stop the earthquakes.
We have been there before, or very, very close to it, right?
You've been in a chamber full of lava, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yep.
But not
Fire resistance potions.
We did buy fire resistance potions for that. Then again, we also bought water breathing.
Nova almost died of exhaustion rather than...
I got real tired, do you remember? I was literally one roll away from dying from exhaustion.
Yeah, that happens
Good
all the time.
times.
That's just corridors.
Yeah.
If you would like a DM hint, I will give you a small DM hint, but I will not say anything unless I'm wanted to.
Which one has corridors?
Yeah, which one?
All of them. All of them.
Damn it.
Corridors.
Well, I don't want
and
to do either.
doors.
Well, we're doomed.
Ah.
We're doomed.
Of course, you could just leave this and like they can D1 will just say, I can direct you to the there is a current situation where I can direct you to a chamber that will lead closer to the demiplane entrance.
Hell,
If
no,
you do
are
not wish to
kidding me?
assist in
this is cool as hell.
Going inside a
love these
volcano,
guys.
I think that's pretty cool.
Not even that, just the D1 stuff, the gem dwarves.
Very cool.
Hell yeah.
But she will point out, like, my apologies, the other maidens are currently not engaged in conversational purposes. This is, and she will say, E9, Emerald 9, Topaz 3, and Ruby 4. Like, they all have designations, and they call themselves, like, E9, T2, R4.
It just makes me think of Borg. This is just I'm very into Borg at the moment, and this is just making me think of Borg.
No, Kim, you're into
right?
Star Trek stuff?
I know,
No
right?
way.
No, well, Picard season 2's out right now.
What?
I know.
Nice. Is that the one where they launched Data out the garbage chute?
Or Worf goes, assimilate this.
Oh, we should get Lucius a Piccolo. Oh, that's Titanic. Anyway,
It's the one where they say, "May the Force be with you."
Yeah.
Great.
I will. Well, the other thing I would say
Anyway,
is, don't forget, there may be it may not just be a case of drinking some fire resistance potions. There may be other things you can do.
There probably is
to get down there.
But we're expecting something akin to that exact same, like, well,
if you are to whatever happens, if you find a way to not like literally swim in lava, but find some other way. I mean, you experienced last time that lava creates intense heat. It causes exhaustion if you are not strong of constitution, shall we say. But it also, like, last time you were fighting creatures and navigating chambers and things like that. This sounds like, and D1 will tell you, she can provide you with a device. It's like a kind of like oblong crystal cylinder. It just needs to be delivered basically at the base of the magma chamber in the volcano.
Magma.
So basically, it's like Lord of the Rings, and we need to cast it into the fiery pit.
But you would need to actually, if you just drop it, it won't work because it won't go
Accurately.
down far enough. You actually have to take it down.
accurately place it in the
Yes.
fiery.
we need to cast
At the
ourselves
bottom of
into
the
the
lava.
fire.
Yes,
Mm.
And then
and
gently
swim
place it.
down in the lava and put
Oh
this
my
thing at the bottom of it.
god.
It's your door.
Okay, and the alternative plan, the alternative was underwater,
Well, there's two things.
was it?
Like, one will stop the volcanoes, one will stop the seismic activity, like the earthquakes and stuff. And that other one is, some sort of, basically like the Mariana Trench. They were meant to deliver some sort of device. The maidens that took it there lost contact, haven't come back.
The Marinara Trench.
Yeah. Well, this one's
Or is
called the
that lava?
Feldraven Traverse.
Feldraven trips.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Well, okay.
Vala just do a magical portal and whoop.
I mean, Valor might be able to help. Yeah, for sure. Like, she can rip holes in demiplanes, and she's created she's created bubbles of like protective environments when you've been in the demiplanes. It might be that she could create like a bubble to like go in magma for a period of time. You could ask her. Magma.
Magma.
Hmm.
I don't know. What does everyone else think?
Magma.
Okay.
Magmar.
Okay.
I
Into
think we're capable.
Magma.
Yeah.
It was a long
With
time
level
ago.
17 adventurers.
Yeah,
Going
exactly.
through all my spells.
I'll dive in a volcano.
Yeah.
Last
Oh.
time C saved
Look.
our butt and sacrificed
Yeah.
their blood for us in magma. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Magma.
Take someone
Nova.
with them.
Nova needs a redemption arc with Magma. She needs to not get tired this time.
Magma. Well, I can use etherealness, and potentially not even have to swim through the lava. Just swim through the ethereal domain right next to the lava. Not going to be hot there.
Until you have to
Sting.
put the thing there, and then you would
Yeah.
have
And
to
then
come
you
back
have
into
to
the
go.
material plane.
Yeah. I'm living in a
But
material
it would
plane,
certainly
because I am a
help
material
one
bird.
way.
Oh. Oh my
Nice.
god.
I can cast it twice. Etherealness 3 times.
I can teleport us back out because I have my teleportation helm now. So
So we could etherealness
We've
all
got
the way through it.
methods to get out again. Unlike
There's
last
a tree
time
in
where
there.
it was a bit of a shitter. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
If there's a tree, we're good.
There's a tree in there. I can teleport us through a tree in the volcano.
okay, let's look for a
That'll
tree.
do. Yeah.
We should. Oh my god,
Magma tree.
we should legit put a tree on the Stormchaser.
What?
Can we?
On the deck
Can we,
of
Captain
the
Lucius? Can we? Can we? Can we? Can we? Can we? Can we?
Wait, if
So,
it's in
can we
if it's in
what?
like a plant pot, then you don't have access to the roots, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
I think you
actually,
need
how does
access
that
to the
work?
roots
Yeah.
to travel.
It also has to be big enough,
Probably
doesn't
true.
it?
Yeah.
You
These
could
things
build
big
like a container. You could have like a planter, like a deep set planter filled with soil.
Oh wait,
The
they can
roots
just
would
go
be
to
limited.
any tree,
Any tree.
even
long
if the
as it's
roots
big
aren't
enough.
connected. What kind of dumb magic is this?
That's where you draw your line. That's
Tree strike,
Yeah.
my guy. Tree strike.
Anyway, let's just go
It's
into the
still there.
ethereal domain.
It's still in dirt, and if you know the tree and you know where it is, which is on the deck, there's no reason
How do you
why.
get there? How do you get there?
I'm
Magic.
seeing another tree.
How does
Bullshit.
teleport work? Like,
You travel through the air.
We're mind freaks.
that's not how teleport works.
Now,
That's exactly how it works.
can you remind me, Mark,
Yes.
how big the entrance into the volcano was?
Not big enough for the Stormchaser.
It was like a door. It was
I
like a
end my
10-foot
line
yeah.
of questioning.
It will be bigger than 10 foot. It won't be. It's not like. It will be quite big. It will be like a 20-foot radius. It's probably like 40 foot across, maybe 50 foot. But the Stormchaser is a gargantuan ship. It's massive. It's like a huge galleon. It's not gonna fit in the caldera of the volcano.
Last time we went in at the.
You went in
top
at the
at
base. You didn't go at the top. Yeah. You guys went in at like the bottom, and you actually went in through the research facility. That you don't know if it was like actually it was connected to the volcano, but you don't know
It
in
was
what way.
underwater, wasn't it? The entrance.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it was
entrance was
under-
underwater. Yeah. Whereas for this, you will need to from the top to get to the magma chamber, like the central magma chamber. You have to go
Magma.
down through the caldera, through the lava, into the magma chamber.
Sweet.
Okay, let's quaff our potions then.
How long does it last?
Fly
Oh,
over.
wait.
We'll just drop.
An hour, I think.
E1, do we need to complete both these tasks for that 75% reduction, or
Completing either of these missions will reduce environmental effects substantially. Both of them would reduce overall effects by 75. However, completing either one will have significant assistance.
37.5 reoccurring?
Roughly.
Right.
5 reoccurring.
That's not-
That's why she said roughly. She was humoring.
Anyway.
Lucius. 33.3 reoccurring, of course.
I'm glad that's so fucking funny. It's just a number.
I hate him. I actually hate him
It's not even
sometimes.
that funny.
It's such a thing.
He's been a real wriggly boy today.
It's so funny.
That's number one.
It's divisible. It's just like.
And this
you
is
wouldn't
why
get
the
that.
studio never gets used, because, like, you know, Mark kills Tom in the next week.
Um,
I won't kill him.
we have to go
Vengeance.
through. So there's a caldera.
Someone might.
There's
That's
lava.
Classic volcano. Yep. It's spewing lava as well. Like even flying Stormchaser there, it's like shooting rocks and spewing lava.
Yeah,
like
of
getting
course it is,
Stormchaser
yeah.
there is going to be a risk to the ship as well. But that's the ship's been upgraded. It's been reinforced. It's got shields and stuff now.
We're fine.
But just
Level
don't be too
17.
long.
Let's do it.
Just don't leave it
Let's do it.
hovering over the volcano for too long.
Just don't take too long, forehead.
What if we plunged the Stormchaser in?
Nope.
What if?
Safe. Mast.
all right,
Mast. No.
Mars? No.
What if we fixed the human catapult and then, like, had the Stormchaser go like that and just yeet Ayla and Sentry into the...
Well, actually,
That's
the reason the reason that the launcher hasn't been fixed is because there is not enough power for it. Like
I
you
can
have
fix
to
that.
you have to upgrade the ship. You can't.
Fine.
Nope. You can build it, but it just won't work. It won't function.
Ethereal
Strap a rock to
How
myself.
big is the crystal that we need to take?
Oh, it's like probably like 5 foot diameter. Like it's quite big. Like it's heavy. It's like a
5
big sort of
foot?
like yeah, like 5 foot. Like is diameter
That's
the whole
like
way
me.
across?
That's a kid.
Yeah, it's like a person
That's a
size. Yeah, it's
Kim.
like a person size. Yeah.
So we need a strong,
Yeah,
sturdy
it needs someone
type
strong.
person.
Yeah, it needs. Yeah, it will definitely need somebody with a high
Yeah.
strength to carry it.
Carry me. Throw me in the volcano.
There's a way we can protect whoever does this.
Or you could
It's-
mount it and then drop it from the ship, but then you need to basically push it down through the lava.
Drop me.
We need like a dome of invulnerability, but that's such a high spell.
And even Globe of Invulnerability only protects against spells. But I mean, you could ask like Valor and see if like there's a thing she can do,
Yes,
or like
that's-
you can use your own spells. Like I don't know what you can do.
We need to
could use
process
Wish.
information and come up with a plan. Thank you, D1, for your help, I guess, and also causing all this mess. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Would you prefer for me to accompany you until these tasks are completed?
Well,
Can many of you accompany us? So much so that it reduces the work output?
I cannot. Any further maidens cannot be spared. They must work to complete the projects. However, my designation is specifically to act as a liaison with the champions of Siaska.
I look around, Lucius looks around, just like shrugging and nodding. I
I'm
don't
shrugging.
see
I mean,
why not?
They
I can at
help.
least provide answers if you have further questions.
Right. Okay, yes, please come along with us to our airship.
Very well.
All right.
She just, follows you. Like the whole time she speaks, she always has this like smiley expression, but it's always a smiley expression. Like it's just like everything is like, yes, how did duty? And she's just like,
People
It's
are going
creepy,
to
right?
die. The inevitable
it's kind of
end.
creepy. Like it's you very clearly like looking at like Sentry and D1. D1 is clearly a construct, an incredibly complex, well-developed, like almost lifelike construct. But she doesn't have the same sentience or soul spark that Sentry does. Like, Sentry is clearly a person in the way that she speaks and behaves and has emotions. D1 doesn't have any of that stuff. D1 is just very complex parameters and algorithms basically running her.
No
she's much
sentience
more
of-
robotic. No sentience. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think the best course of action is to go to the most powerful person we know, and that's Valor.
Yep,
Nice.
definitely.
And that's the best we can do right now. Other than that, it's about endurance and constitution and sending one of us into lava with a crystal.
now
don't know how deep.
I know that we've done it before, and we made them into a lightning rod before, but
It's not always me, okay? Look.
Well, if anyone...
If it's a team effort, we're good. But you can't just,
But
hurt
you can
me.
probably withstand. I'm not hurting. It's just saying you'd be the one of all of
last
us.
time you made me an elf lightning rod.
I didn't make you anything.
I
You
was the only
kind of
one who got hurt
volunteered.
in that situation.
It was in my dream. It was in my dream. Whoa, I'm getting a vision. Ayla's going in the
Yeah, I
lava.
got that down.
Who are you getting a vision from? Who are you getting a vision from?
Okay,
Your
now
eyes
that's
not
me.
swirling or anything.
With that, the last thing before we wrap up, Valor will basically, kind of as you explain the situation, she's like, well, I think I could create a pocket, like a bubble of... It would at least protect us from the lava itself. I mean, it would still be... The heat would be very powerful. We would need to protect ourselves against fire and heat and that sort of thing, but I could at least, create a bubble of safe space for us to exist in. I get the sensation... I don't think that we would be the only life forms in that volcano. I remember stories of going to rescue Sentry. You told me that there were creatures that lived in the lava that attacked you. I think that there would be creatures existing in there.
The big worms.
You would need to protect me. I would have to be completely focused on generating a shield, but I could do it, and that would at least allow us to reach the bottom slowly. I would be able to control our descent to deliver the package.
Can you control our ascent?
Yes, I would be if I'm still conscious. As long as I'm not burnt alive by lava or worms, I could bring us back up to the top as well. Or Nova and myself both are experienced with teleportation magic. Likely your teleportation headband, we could use that to simply, once we've delivered and secured the device, we could then teleport back to the Stormchaser.
Yes, I think our escape plan is far more solid than our entry. So assistance with the entry would be extremely useful. Thank you.
Well, you'll be happy to know that we bought 5 fire resistance potions.
Oh, I don't know if somebody else knows the spell, but I know Maximilian is naturally resistant to fire, and I think do you have a way of protecting others from fire? Yes, I know the spell. I can protect you from fire for up to an hour, Your Majesty. Well, yes, I can do that, but again, that requires my concentration. If I take too much damage, that may be broken. But
oh wait, so can I?
Oh well. I'm just thinking, Keelek, if you are likely to use far more powerful magic than I. Perhaps rather than giving up your concentration, it is perhaps better if I do it. And then if I fail, you can quickly protect Her Highness if need be.
That's what I was thinking, Max. That's what I was thinking.
I'll give Valor my potion. You can cast it on me. Then if it fails, it's not as big a deal because Valor is more important.
That's very kind of you. Quite honestly, Ayla, I think that out of all of us, if you were subjected to fire, you seem to be the toughest. I think you and Sentry would be able to withstand the heat a lot longer than the rest of us. I should be fine. I am. My world was quite had an intense temperature planet. I should be fine as long as I'm not in direct contact with the lava.
All right. So we have our hour time limit to get into a volcano and plant a crystal. And get out again safely.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy, but
I imagine not. All right. And with that, that's where we're going to end. And so our first adventure in the brand new studio is going to be you guys descending a volcano.
Hell yeah.
Boy, do I wish I had bought the magma tile set. But
we could build like the science, a science project.
I am going to see what I can do. But yes, we will.
A visual of the depth meter, and you can slowly bring it down.
I'm thinking. I've got some ideas.
It's got a noggin thought.
But man, it's going to be cool to have one session in the studio before we're forced to take a long break because we have to start a whole new campaign.
Yeah, TPK to corridor.
Sure, a lava corridor.
Oh, a volcano is just a big lava corridor.
Seen again.
It's a big lava corridor. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me just go to
Right.
that bit of my journal where we
Anyway,
last
while
went
you
to.
do that, we're going to say bye to Yoggies because we're going to go on that. So, goodbye, Yogscast. Thank you very
Bye,
much for watching. on that
Bye,
channel.
Yoggies.
Bye, Yogcast.
Rollers,
Just
we're going
to
to read
let-
out some stuff.
Bye,
Oh,
Yogg.
To let Yogs know, next week things might be a little
Yes.
different. We might be hosted on the channel going forward rather than streaming on
Streaming to
both.
both.
So
Yes.
if you'd like to follow High Rollers D&D,
It shouldn't change
please do so.
too much.
Yeah.
But yes.
There you go.
Cool.
Anyway, goodbye, Yogs.
Right,
Later.
Tommy
Bye,
boy,
Yoggies.
see us out. We've reading those donies.
I'm getting those donies. Hey, should I be concerned that there is just a blind spot in the very middle of my eye? Anyway, sheedy stuff with a quarter hundo. says,
Sorry,
"Hi."
what?
It's just, you know.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. It's kind of hard for me to read these donations.
That's a
anyway.
migraine.
Oh my
That's a
God.
You've
migraine.
been looking at a light or something?
Is it got flickeringness around the edges?
Nah, we're cool. We're cool.
Is it
We
fuzzy?
did inhale a lot
We're cool,
of
we're cool, we're
fumes
cool.
yesterday.
We're cool. We
I wonder
yeah,
if
there was
that-
quite a bit of actual substance abuse yesterday. Sheedy stuff
Don't
with
do
a
drugs,
quarter
kid.
hundo has
Don't.
just said, "Hey, we just finished Lightfall,
Tom.
the Descent last week. Disappointed in the ending. Did we miss a VOD where you went back after Trell? Are
You've
you
got a
I'm go-
migraine.
Okay,
Go
no,
lie
hang
down.
on. Okay, legit. Can someone else read these? It's
Yes.
harder to.
Water.
Yeah.
I,
where can we
yeah,
get
so
them?
I can't get
Go
them
lie-
up. It's
go lie
on
down.
stream elements or something. You moron.
Good lord.
Yeah,
Can
Tom,
you get them?
go.
What a moron!
Yeah, I can't.
Tom, where do you get them, please?
Streamlabs.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Going for it.
I think that Tom, if you're like, I've got a massive blind spot in my eye, and I've
Yeah.
got this like intense pain in my head, but I'm
No,
gonna
no intense
squint
pain.
and like try and be
It
like,
will. You're gonna have a
No,
migraine.
no,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna feel fine. I feel fine now.
No, migraines aren't fun.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye, bruh.
How long have I had 4 monitors for? Wow.
On.
just the idea
Nice
of
knowing you,
him being
bruh.
like, is it a problem that I've got a big blind spot in the middle of my vision? Like,
Oh, I
yes.
just figuring out, you know.
Right, where'd you
Otherwise,
get to?
like,
What was the
I'm
last name?
blind.
The last one I read was. It was sheedy stuff. Is the
Okay,
last one I read.
thank you.
Yeah.
Now go rest.
Close your
Okay.
eyes. Just sit there, but keep your eyes closed. The
Man,
entire
I'm going to
time,
play
Tom.
so much Slay the
Yes.
Spire after this. You have no idea.
Close your eyes.
You need.
Thank you very much to Anonymous for your donation, saying, for reasons. How
For
mysterious.
reasons. Thanks.
Creepy.
Crizzy29, thank you for your donation, your quarter hundo. That's very kind. Wonderful, just wonderful. I feel as excited as the wolf pack right now. They're always excited. They're very excitable creatures.
Ooh.
Tom, stop looking at things. I know you're looking at things with your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Thank you.
That's
He's
it.
literally going to go and play video games. He's not going to. It's
We
pointless
can give him
endeavor.
like 5 minutes of eyes closed time.
Okay, fine.
Lycus Gaming, thank you very much for your donation. Hey, so glad to see you all again. I was wondering if you could give a hello to my girlfriend, Lurikia.
Hello.
Lurikia.
Hello.
Sorry if I'm pronouncing that
Hello.
wrong. Who is still in VOD Squad. Our 1 year is coming up on the 13th, and we actually met through D&D as our characters
Yay.
fell in love before we did.
Aw.
Isn't that nice?
Ah, cute.
That's
Man.
lovely.
Anniversary to come.
Yep. And hello from the future, from the past.
Oh,
From
Uh,
the future past.
That Norwegian guy, thanks for your donation. Just thought I should give feedback and say that the tweet saying the stream is in an hour instead of using time zones is very helpful for dumb twats like me. Keep up the good work. There you go, Ree.
Is that what
Good
you
job.
hey.
Keep it generic for everybody.
Yeah. You get a tweet, and you get a tweet.
Grandmaster DJ, I reckon that's what your name is. There you go. Trot, you've ruined the Imperial March for me. Someone mentioned it yesterday, and I thought the parody you made about Derpules for Scrobbles, I think, but I had another Spell Clash dream. Sorry, what is going on with it? I thought of the parody you made about Derpules for Scobles, I think.
Trials of Hercules?
Yeah, I remember that, but it just then it went straight on to, but then I had another Spell Clash dream. Tim and I are level 10 now, and I just beat him again, so you know.
Good for you, bud.
Thanks.
Stop looking, Tom!
This is definitely in
are-
relation to a previous Grandmaster DJ donation.
I mean, yes, but if those are between weeks, like that shit just vanishes from brains, right? Like if you send us a donation
I remember every single one.
Like fuck you.
All right, what do they say?
What do they say?
Last week. Don't scroll, don't read.
Scroll it, you fucking twat.
A lot happens in a week. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's very
Angrist,
hard to follow.
thank you very much for your dono. Just wanted to shout out Mark. He's been killing it with the world building recently. Mark, what's...
Killing it, King.
There's something on the floor back there. It's your fucking crown. You're killing it, King.
I dropped it. Oh, let me just pick it up. Here's my crown. Yay.
I freaking adored the Feywild chapter. He captured the fairy story feel so well. This donation is also a plug. The latest season of Knights of Evening Star. So good. There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
Thanks.
And I read that one. Reynard Pin donated. Lovely. I just watched the last episode before this, and Mark, if they did rock up to Azagrat, fuck up Gratz, and catch him in the Pokeball, would they need an Empyrean to match his power level, or would their Planetar friend work?
I said at the beginning of the episode, an Empyrean would be a better link because they're closer in power level. A Planetar would be considerably lower, I think. I think a Solar would be okay, but a Planetar's probably a bit too low to really get the most out of capturing Gratz. They would want a Solar or an Empyrean, I believe. I can't remember which way round the Planetar Solar goes, but I think Solar's the more powerful.
There you go.
Bam!
Bam.
Done.
Natalie June Hawthorne donated, saying in full caps, I want a crystal cowboy robot wife.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
And then Crispy donated a bloody half-hundo.
Oh, Crispus.
God damn it.
Thank you,
Congrats on making it to the studio after all the hard work setting up. Extremely happy to see you guys doing so well and cannot wait to see the new and improved stream next week. I am, however, concerned about Tom's lack of knowledge about trees.
What do you mean? They're not... No, I thought
Calm
travel
down.
via plant...
Think of your eyes.
Okay, sorry, I'm thinking... Okay. I thought travel via plant required the roots to all be connected, like in Avatar, and
so do you think that all trees,
like mushrooms?
But do you think all trees on Aerois their roots are connected?
No, but they are in the ground, rooted into the ground, intertwining, interlocked, interwoven, interconnected.
So you're saying yes, they are all connected to
Earth,
every tree in the world,
like mushrooms are all connected.
But what if we? Yeah, but we could just put some soil on the ship.
Yeah, does that not count? No.
Yeah, but then how do you get to the tree? How are you traveling via plants if the plant is directly disconnected?
Literal magic. It is a world where magic exists, and we are traveling.
No sense. It literally makes no sense what
dumb.
You're saying.
But you're happy to walk through a fucking dimension door.
Yeah, because a dimension door is a wormhole.
He literally, he imagines that every tree planted in the earth in Aerois, their roots are actually all joined up. He thinks that they're all connected.
No, I'm just saying.
Then what does it matter? Then how does that change anything?
Because you travel via every plant, right? If you
it's
jump
not
into
called
a tree,
travel through dirt.
No, you travel via plant. The plant is directly connected to all the other plants in the ecosystem. So
how is it directly connected?
From the earth. Like all the
so travel via dirt. That's what you're arguing
travel via,
for.
I'm saying that the roots have got to touch at some point, like some other tree or some other mushroom or something, some other connection through all of nature, and then they just go and connect to another tree. If there's a tree just in a plant in the middle of fucking nowhere, like it's
but
not
that's connected to all the oxygen that's touching it, Tom.
It drops spores. It drops pollen. That's all connected to a mushroom 30 billion miles away, like the other fucking trees.
You know what?
You know what would be cool? Actually, imagine if you looked at all trees with true sight and you saw their ethereal connections.
Right. Exactly.
Like planar connections. Now that would make more sense.
Ethereal connections.
Kim's gone. She's out.
That's the same as fucking magic, you pleb.
It actually is magic, yeah. But it's good for Tom's brain.
You don't have a literal storm in your eye. What the fuck are you doing when you cast that?
I do, motherfucker, I do.
No, you don't. It doesn't work. Couldn't possibly.
I just think if you just put a tree in the middle of fuck-ass nowhere, you can't just travel to it.
Well, you can. So too bad.
What thing that I can do?
You can do it whatever you want, but in the rules, do what you want.
I'm just going to launch a tree into space and then just travel to it.
Tom, when
Yeah,
you
you
do
could.
one shot,
Why not?
can you do a one shot about this?
About
Can you do a one shot
I'm
about
not
trees?
playing in it.
Tom's
Quill
angry
teaches
tree.
magic. The Quill's Arcana degree. Everyone learns Quill's version of true magic. My eyes hurt so much.
I'm getting a migraine
Oh,
listening to that.
thank you.
Like, I had my
right.
headphones off and I could still hear you guys shouting.
3 more things to read out, and then we are
Please do.
through, and Tom can lie down in a dark room. The Reverend Jim Jones, thanks for your bitties, much appreciated. I am a robot 012C, thanks for your 1,000 bitties. Wowie. Saying
Whoa.
magic.
Wowee.
Magic.
Yeah, magic, I think that's in response to.
It is.
Sorry, MK13 Wolf just said in live stream chat on Discord, Tom's climbed into this tree and he's dying in it.
He will die in this tree. And then finally, with a bloody half hundo, Yogg's body just donated saying, keep killing it, all of you. Love you loads. With you till the end. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogi.
Very kind.
Thanks, Yogs, buddy.
Very
Very nice.
kind.
That's
That's
it.
it.
We
Mate's gonna
will see
kill you all night in the Discord.
Oh, God, I can't.
Join
I'm
the
not.
Discord,
No,
it's great.
I can't.
Join it now.
Listen,
Oh, gift-
we
gift sub.
will
Do
be
it.
back
Oh,
next
yes.
week in the studio, April 10th, baby. Join us then for more High Rolls D&D. Until then, take care. We love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Indeed.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye,
Thanks.
goodbye, goodbye, goodbye,
Goodbye,
goodbye,
everybody.
goodbye.
Greetings, this is Chris Trott speaking.
Could the owner of a Corsa Vauxhall... No, I'm actually going to thank everybody.
For their gifties, which I forgot. Sorry about that. Thank you so much to Recall for 100 gifties. Wowee! I am a robot 012C, also gifted 50. What the hell? That's insane. Everyone's going crazy back here. You can just hear my voice. Niracht. I never know how to pronounce your name. 10 gifties. Thanks so much. Is it so loud? Sorry. Thanks also to Valana for 10 gifty subs as well. And then Breaksec, 15 gift subbies. Being Wolfie, 5 gift subbies. Captain Payne, also 5. Mark Vbag, Badag, and Nightjar. Thank you so much for your gifties. And then Bits Donos, thanks for Mudgent Alive, Greedy Warlock 7, Rika Sayuri, I'm a Robot 012C, and Mist Lunarbane saying it's Starbane's favorite Pokemon game, X and Y, because it's in the Kalos region. Lol. Like Kalos. Thank you so much, everybody. That's all we have time for today. See you in the studio next week!
Honestly though, could the owner of the Vauxhall Corsa please move your car? You're blocking traffic. Thanks.